It's a beautiful day here in Cleveland. Just a hint of fall in the air, 61 degrees. And we're getting ready for the opening kickoff. Another sellout crowd in Cleveland. They've been sold out for every game since 1999. There's Marvin Lewis. He's got another 10 days or so left in a cast. Monday night was his first game back on the sidelines. And Romeo Crennel, he moves swiftly to clarify the quarterback situation, sending Charlie Frye to Seattle just 2 days after he started the opener at quarterback. The Bengals won the toss. Phil Dawson will kick it off for Cleveland. Tab Perry is the deep man for Cincinnati. This is the 68th edition of the Battle of Ohio. The Bengals have won the last 5 meetings. Cincinnati leads the series, and it couldn't be any tighter, 34-33. And we are underway here in Cleveland. Perry at the 4. With a seam and a nice return out to the 30-yard line, and that is where the Cincinnati Bengals will start 1st and 10. Carson Palmer, a Pro Bowl MVP last season, 2 touchdown passes Monday night against the Ravens. Marvin Lewis says he just absorbs the game. The Bengals have been a bit unsettled up front. Stepanovic will start at center for Eric Gajcek today. Rudy Johnson had a quiet night against Baltimore. Chad Johnson is never quiet, and he can become the Bengals' all-time leading receiver with 82 yards today from the 30. Palmer with time finds an opening in the seam, and that's going to be a first down. A great catch by Chad Johnson. Let's take a look at the Browns defensively. Big Ted Washington, near 400 pounds, anchors the middle of that 3-4. Cameron Wembley is a talented young linebacker. They like him a lot. And Eric Wright is the rookie. They'll try to keep the veteran Lee Bodden on Chad Johnson today. They get it out to the 43-yard line. Opening possession for the Cincinnati Bengals. On first down, Rudy Johnson gets across the 45 near the 47-yard line. And DeQuell Jackson, the weak side linebacker, made the tackle.
And you know, there's Chad right there. Chad Johnson looking for any opportunity, Bill, that he can get matched up one-on-one with anybody on the field. He's going to have Lee Bodden in his face all day. But the key for the Cleveland Browns, right there we saw a good play stopping Rudy Johnson for a 3-yard gain. They've got to shut down Rudy Johnson so they can still protect themselves on the outside.
So 2nd and 7. Bengals on the move. Short drop for Palmer. The slant. Tab Perry, and he can't hang on. Let's see if they rule that was a catch, and then down. Yep, it's a first down. It was a catch, and the fumble occurred after he hit the turf.
So right away we see Carson Palmer coming out, making good, quick decisions. Good, accurate throw. Yeah, there's no doubt that was the catch right there by Tab Perry, just flipping the ball up to let the referee know, hey, I'm down, play's over. Great job by Carson Palmer, though, coming out 2 for 2, being sharp and quick in his decision-making.
And we have a whistle, and the Bengals are going to take a timeout.
Cincinnati.
So the Bengals are on the move early in the first. 13:07 remaining in the first quarter. No score in Cleveland.
Yes.
After the Cincinnati timeout, a look at the Battle of Ohio. Romeo Crennel has never beaten the Bengals. 0-4. So first down. Call at the 46-yard line of Cleveland. Opening possession for the Bengals. Rudy to the 40-yard line. And expect Cincinnati to try and pound the ball on the ground. After just 55 yards rushing last week against the Ravens, Rudy Johnson has a history of big games against Cleveland. In 9 games with the Browns, he's averaging almost 100 yards a game and has scored 9 touchdowns.
In the last 5 games, he's averaged over 140 yards a game, including a 202-yard game a couple years ago. So Cleveland knows they've got to shut him down if they want any chance at winning this ball game.
Kenny Watson has checked in. Palmer guns it. Chad Johnson, and Chad, there's a flag on the play. It may be a face mask. Fights his way down to the 24-yard line, going against Lee Bodden, the right corner. That was a pickup of 16 yards.
Yeah, the question on this play, I think, is whether or not there was a face mask by Lee Bodden, or maybe even against Chad Johnson going to the head of Lee Bodden. I think they're discussing exactly what happened, and straight arm is allowed, but
there's no foul on the play for a face mask. Since the hand went to the mask, do not grab the foot.
Pete Morelli, our referee today, so they pick up the flag and they move the chains.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of small altercations like this during the course of the game. These teams both are eager to establish themselves as superior. You can see right there that Chad Johnson, I think, is what they were saying, could have been called for that face mask. It looked like he did have a hold of it, but referees decided to not make an issue out of it. 5 plays, 3 first downs for Cincinnati. They run the reverse to Perry. Tab Perry cuts it back inside. A nice move, and he's close to another first down, about a yard short. And Robert Smith, the right defensive end, made the stop. Good, solid play calling right now to start this game off for Cincinnati. You can see, you're going to see Tab Perry right here at the bottom of your screen. He's going to come around on the reverse, and a good job of Tab Perry just accelerating right around, knowing that he did not have anything to worry about with the defensive end to try and make the play on him. That was Cameron Wembley that was up the field, but Tab Perry knew he was too quick to be stopped getting around that corner. From just inside the 15-yard line, first down, the pitch back to Rudy around the corner, and he stepped out of bounds. Inside the 10, down between the 8 and 9-yard lines. Well, you probably heard about it this week. Chad Johnson said if he gets into the end zone, he's going right over to the pound, and this was what he did before the game, showing the fellas over there some love. He's probably trying to bribe them a little bit. Say, hey, man, if I come up in there, you know what? I got a little surprise for each of you if you don't go too hard on me. Chad Johnson is split out to the left side. 1st and goal. Opening possession for Cincinnati. And that's a procedure call. Stacey Andrews, the left guard, moved.
Ball start. Number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Yeah, that was Cleveland coming up. They were coming with an all-out blitz. You saw Sean Jones, number 26, was coming up to try and time it up and shoot the gap, and Stacey Andrews got a little bit excited, lost track of the snap count, and that'll cost you. You hate to give up 5 yards down there inside that 10-yard line, because yards are so tough to get inside that red zone because the field is shrunk. You hate to give up an easy 5. They spotted back at the 14. They pump it over to Chad Johnson, swinging out to the left side. Rudy Johnson, and out of bounds at the 4. Signal. A touchdown. There it is. A touchdown. A delayed call, but that's 6 for Cincinnati. You know, that was an absolutely unbelievable job by Carson Palmer. We'll show you. Watch how he looks to the right. He got 2 or 3 options in front of him. Rudy Johnson's actually his 4th option on that play. To have the patience and the confidence to get back to that 4th guy is very, very hard to do, especially down there on the short field. But Carson Palmer, in complete control, made the right decision again. 13 yards on the touchdown reception. Shane Graham on to try the extra point, and it's good. So the Bengals draw first blood. 10:32 left to go.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. Energizer E² Lithium. Keep going. And by GMC, official vehicle of the NFL and proud supporter of those who want it more.
8 plays, 70 yards on the opening drive. Took 428. Johnson with his very first touchdown reception, and that's a part of his game that he says has been a focus this year. Joshua Cribbs is back deep for Cleveland. Graham's kick is taken at the 7-yard line by Cribbs. And he dives forward out close to the 36-yard line. Asked to see him a number of times before he watch this. He's got 4 options on this play, and then Rudy's number 4 up at the top. Carson goes from the right side 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across the field, and you'll see that
his eyes actually tracked all the way across the field. You could see very clearly that he was looking at each one of his receivers and was patient enough to get to Rudy Johnson. That usually results in a good thing, and it was a touchdown for Cincinnati.
Opening possession for the Cleveland Browns from their own 37. Jamal Lewis tries to find some running room up the middle and picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. John Thornton, the right defensive tackle, made the stop. Derek Anderson makes just the 4th start of his career. He played a total of 5 games for the Browns last year. His offensive line, Thomas is the rookie, the 3rd pick overall. Steinbach, the former Bengal. Backs and receivers, they need a big day from Jamal Lewis to take the pressure off Anderson and try to keep that explosive Cincinnati offense off the field. 2nd and 8. Showing blitz, and here they come. Short drop for Anderson. The slant thrown behind Braylon Edwards. And here's the Cincinnati defense. Robert Gathers is athletic, had a huge game Monday night against the Ravens. There have been questions about Cincinnati at linebacker, but Brooks and Landon Johnson step up against Baltimore. And in the secondary, Jonathan Joseph is back starting at right corner. He was the Bengals' top draft choice a year ago. We'll also see the rookie Leon Hall in nickel packages. 3rd and long. First possession for Cleveland. From the shotgun, Anderson. Incomplete. Again, he throws behind Braylon Edwards.
Wow, that's not what these fans wanted to see, and Romeo Crennel knows that with his team, there's Brady Quinn.
That's who they want to see.
They want to see Brady Quinn, and if Derek Anderson has a few more balls get away from him, I'm sure we'll start hearing that from the fans. But not a good start by the Cleveland Browns offensively. 2 balls thrown, both of them behind Braylon Edwards. Cleveland can only hope it's just a little bit of jitters on Derek Anderson's part.
James Zastudil is back. He didn't play last week with a bad back. Nice kick fielded by Skylar Green at the 20. And Green goes out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. Carson Palmer and company back to work when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by CareerBuilder.com. A better job awaits at CareerBuilder.com. And by GM's OnStar. Get the OnStar treatment no matter who you are.
You can follow your fantasy players and all of today's NFL action with lightning-fast live-scoring game centers online now at CBSSports.com. 2nd possession for the Bengals. Play action under pressure and a sack. Robert Smith got to Carson Palmer.
And that's what the Cleveland Browns need to see more of. They've got to be able to get some pressure, not let Carson. You're going to see Robert Smith off the top of your screen. Just beats right around the left end. He just beats Andrew Whitworth off the left side. And Carson Palmer didn't have a chance to get set up and look down the field. A good pass rush by Robert Smith right there. If they can get pressure on Carson Palmer, that obviously lends itself to not being able to stand back there and take advantage of his weapons down the field.
So a loss of 7, 2nd and 17. They keep it on the ground. Johnson tries to reverse field, still on his feet, and gets it out across the 20 to the 21-yard line before Eric Wright and Sean Jones wrapped him up.
And what are you going to see now? Cleveland, they do not want to match up all over the field on Chad Johnson. That's Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator right there. They do not want to match up on Chad Johnson and TJ Houshmandzadeh. So if they can shut them down on 1st down, you're going to see Cleveland go into 2 deep safety so they can protect their corners, Lee Bodden and Eric Wright, from one-on-one matchups on the outside against these great receivers. But it starts by shutting Cincinnati down on 1st down and making them get into obvious passing situations.
4 wide receivers set. Listen to this crowd. And the Bengals have to take a timeout. The fans here in Cincinnati have been so patient since the franchise returned in 1999 and after the draft with Joe Thomas, Brady Quinn, and Eric Wright, 3 potential longtime starters in key positions. There's been a great deal of optimism here about the Browns. And while we've got a break here, let's send you to JB in New York for an NFL update. 7-game losing streak against Indianapolis. So after the brief timeout, 3rd and long, 2nd possession for the Bengals. Kenny Watson has checked in for Rudy Johnson at running back. Palmer up the seam and intercepted. A poorly thrown ball, and it's intercepted. Kenny Wright with the turnover for Cleveland.
I think it's actually Sean Jones, the safety, and that is about as bad a decision as you're ever going to see Carson Palmer make. Really a gamble by Sean Jones. Sitting down, you're going to see right at the top of your screen, you're going to see right here, here's Kenny, here's Sean Jones right there. You're going to watch him. He's not going to give any depth. He's sitting there waiting and thinking that Carson Palmer's going to try to come underneath, and sure enough, he's in perfect position. I don't know what Carson Palmer was thinking. He generally makes great decisions. He thought Chad Johnson, he kind of locked in, thought he might have a chance to get Chad Johnson up the field, but Sean Jones was having none of that. A great play and big play for Cleveland.
So on first down, Jamal Lewis stumbles up close to the 30-yard line. A nice pickup on first down.
And that doesn't look like much, Bill, but that is huge right there for the Cleveland Browns. If they can run the ball effectively on Cincinnati, and traditionally Cincinnati has not had a great run defense, if Cleveland can run the ball and get themselves in desirable second and third down situations, they have a chance to keep Carson Palmer off the field because they can convert and hold the ball.
Second down, 4. Again, Jamal Lewis, and he's about a yard shy of a first down. And once again, here's JB in New York with an NFL update.
Hey, Bill, Steve Berline will take up for the quarterback, saying this is the way it was drawn up. Delhomme off the helmet of the defender, DeMarcus Fagans, right into the hands of Steve Smith, just like they drew it up. Carolina on top, 7-0 over Houston. Back to Bill and Steve.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Steve Smith is always around the ball. Doesn't matter how it gets to him.
He is amazing. And I'll tell you what, that's the kind of break that quarterbacks love, that kind of break.
Third and short, Lewis, and he's close to the first down.
Looks like he got it.
Fighting for an extra yard, and that got it done. So they'll move the chains. The Browns trying to take advantage of the turnover.
And, you know, you forget also about how important it is for Romeo Crennel and this Browns organization just to have some positive things happen. And having that interception, getting this crowd excited, Sean Jones making the play, getting the first down, running the ball. These are things that really help an offense or a team feel like they're moving in the right direction. They're making progress. They can stick that chest out a little bit. But obviously they've got to keep it going.
First down for the Cleveland Browns.
And it was 3 straight runs, as a matter of fact. Still no completions in the passing game for Derek Anderson after that first 2 bad throws that he had.
They're spotted at the 26-yard line. Short drop, pump fake, goes to the right side, and Braylon Edwards, an acrobatic catch. Did he hang on? No. He was absolutely drilled when he went up for the football.
And that was the kind of throw that'll get a receiver hurt. I like the attitude of Derek Anderson trying to take a shot and make a play, but he really shouldn't have been throwing this football into coverage. I think he made up his mind beforehand, threw it up there, knew he had Braylon Edwards, but boy, Madieu Williams right there saying, throw that ball all day long. I'll be glad to take free shots at your receivers. That's the kind of thing that hurts just watching it. A great play by Madieu. Not a great decision by Derek Anderson. Almost a great catch by Braylon Edwards.
Madieu Williams, a second-round draft pick in 04. Again on the ground, left side, back to the 21-yard line, and it was Williams who made the stop.
And I think it's really important that the Cleveland Browns stay patient with this running game, and as long as they're within striking distance of Cincinnati, you don't want, and that's what Romeo Crennel told us, Derek Anderson last year, what got him in trouble, he tried to be the superstar. He tried to make too many things happen. He threw passes like the last one to Braylon Edwards that really you don't have to do that as long as your team is in the game. Let your team live to see another down.
3rd and 6. Browns try to take advantage of the turnover. Anderson, ball stripped away. He grabs it. Now he throws it. And he's got Jervicius, and he overthrows him. What a play. And it almost was worth 6.
I don't know if it was actually the way it was drawn up
you don't
in
think
the playbook. You're going to see Leon Hall is the one that came in there and got a hand on the ball, knocked the ball out of Derek Anderson. And I'll tell you, I think a more veteran quarterback would have had the poise maybe and the presence to be under control when he picked that ball up, because Joe Jurevicius was open behind everybody. Derek Anderson got a little excited and a little adrenaline and threw it out of bounds.
Phil Dawson, who didn't have a field goal try last week, on to attempt a 40-yarder. It looks good, and it is. So the Cleveland Browns are on the board. 3 points set up by the interception by Sean Jones. 4:58 left in the first. In 2004, Phil Dawson is set to kick it up. Kick it off. Tab Perry is the deep man. 3 yards deep in the end zone. He brings it out. Perry, nice return out to the 23-yard line. Joshua Cribbs made the stop. Well, 4 days from...
Thought you were going to make a run at trying to make that Survivor squad.
I would, yeah, that would be fun. It would be certainly entertaining to watch from China 4 days from now. So Carson Palmer will operate from his own 23-yard line. Gets it out to Chad Johnson on the sidelines and tries to fight for extra yardage, and will pick up about 9, depending on the spot. Lee Bodden made the tackle, and he's going to be isolated on Chad Johnson today. Let's take a look at our fantasy update from around the league. This is all current to the moment for those of you following your fantasy teams at home. Now they gave him a first down with the spot, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Let's call it the 33-yard line. Chris Manzada is the motion man. Keep it on the ground. Rudy Johnson reverses field, but can't turn the corner and runs out of bounds at the 35-yard line. The first hit came from Orpheus Roy, who's in his 12th year out of Florida State, 34-year-old.
Yeah, and Orpheus Roy, he's got to make that play. The Browns, they were going 2 high safeties, so they don't have a lot of run support coming up for Rudy Johnson. They've got to get penetration from their big guys. You're going to see number 99 right in the middle of your screen. He does a great job anticipating the snap count, reading it. He's got to wrap up and make that play in order for Cleveland to stay out of having to bring that safety up and support the run.
Second down, trying to set up the screen. It's well covered. Palmer dumps it off, and we're going to have intentional grounding. Cameron Wembley was applying the serious pressure to Carson Palmer. And Wembley, who set the Browns' rookie record for sacks last year with 11.
And Carson saying, you know, that you can't call grounding on
There's
that.
no foul for intentional grounding as the receiver in the area. Incomplete pass, 3rd down.
And that's exactly right. Carson Palmer, they were trying to set up the screen, but the Quell Jackson, number 58, you can see going out to the left, right side of your screen. He's sneaking out to Quell Jackson right here. He's reading it. Carson Palmer has nowhere else to go with the football. He just throws it. You're always told as a quarterback, if they're covered, if they read it right, don't try and make a great play. Throw it at their feet. Throw it somewhere around your running back. Don't give the defender a chance to make the play, but you should be all right as long as it's around your running back.
Kenny Watson has checked back in. He's split out at the top of your screen. And we have a whistle, and the Browns are going to take a timeout.
Timeout. Cleveland, first team timeout.
So 3 timeouts used combined here in the opening quarter. Browns will go back and regroup. Bengals lead at 7-3, 3:46 left in the first. 40 kids, 40 days, 1 town, and no adults. The wait is almost over. See what everyone is talking about when Kid Nation premieres this Wednesday at 8, 7 Central here on CBS. Well, if there was such a thing as an important game in week 2, this might qualify, Steve, for Cleveland, because the Browns obviously anxious to avoid another poor start, and it doesn't get any easier for Cleveland with games coming up against the Ravens and New England in the next 3 weeks.
Right, and this is another division game. You know, they got beat by Pittsburgh last week. It's bad enough to be 0-2 in general, but to be 0-2 in your division really puts you behind the 8 ball. You can see 3rd down conversion. Cincinnati very poor last week, but against a great Baltimore defense.
Palmer, 3rd and 8. And that was almost picked off.
And another, in my opinion, another shaky throw by Carson Palmer. I don't know exactly what his thought process was, but you get so spoiled watching this guy because his decision making is so sound all the time. He just so rarely makes a mistake, but he tried to pump this one in there, and actually, you know what, it was the right read. He had a gap in there. In the NFL, that's about as open as you can hope to get guys sometimes. That ball was just a little bit high by Carson Palmer.
T.J. Houshmandzadeh was the intended receiver, so we'll see Kyle Larson standing at his own 20. Gets it away, a good high kick. It's fielded at the 15-yard line. Ooh. Cribbs, and he's brought down hard almost immediately by Daniel Coates, the backup tight end. A 50-yard punt and a 3-yard return. We've talked about this rivalry. It's fun for the fans, and it has been, over the years, very tight, but in the last 5 meetings, it's been all Bengals.
It really has. 5 straight wins, and you look at all the numbers, they all definitely favor the Cincinnati Bengals. They've just been a team on the rise, whereas the Cleveland Browns have been searching for an identity and trying to establish themselves and haven't had much luck the last few years. And Cincinnati's been more than willing to take advantage of that.
Derek Anderson will go back to work. Play action, has some time up the sidelines, and that is incomplete. Carter was the intended receiver, Tim Carter, who missed most of the preseason with an injury, and he might be the Browns' fastest player. Deltha O'Neal had the tight coverage.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals, I think one of the big differences, Marvin Lewis says, and it's allowing him to be more aggressive defensively when you can cover people on the outside. Deltha O'Neal, one of the top cover corners in the league, does a great job getting his hand in there, making the play. But a good shot, a good effort by Derek Anderson. He saw the one-on-one coverage. They've got to make some plays in the passing game. As you can see, Anderson hasn't completed a pass yet today, but did a great job identifying the single coverage and taking a shot.
He'll throw again. And that is caught. Winslow, the tight end, and he's got a first down.
Oh. I'll tell you what, that was an interesting little play there. Joe Juravicius, number 84, was coming underneath Winslow, and he could have reached up and tried to make a play on that ball, but wisely dropped his hands and let it go right to Kellen Winslow. Good positive play. You see Juravicius right there. He reached up and tried to get it. Wasn't sure if Derek Anderson was throwing the ball to him or someone coming behind. Fortunately, he made the right choice and let it go. Winslow, one of the most productive, in fact, reception-wise, the most productive tight end in the NFL last year.
So Anderson has his first complete pass. It was good for 19 yards. They go back to Lewis, and Lewis gets it out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. And D. Williams, the free safety, made the tackle.
And here you get a good look at Kellen Winslow Jr. doing a good job blocking big Justin Smith there too. The tight end, a lot of times you think of him as just a pass receiver, but these guys, for a good running football team, the tight end is the one that has to protect that perimeter, that edge. A good blocking tight end makes a huge difference in your running game, and Winslow does a lot more than just run routes and catch passes.
Jamal Lewis already with 6 carries for 20 yards. Rollout. Anderson showing some mobility. Goes to Juravicius on the sidelines, and that's going to be another first down for Cleveland into Cincinnati territory, the 45-yard line.
And that was a great job by Derek Anderson coming out. Actually, his number one read was to Winslow coming out underneath, but he slipped and fell down, and Anderson poised and patient. You're going to see Joe Juravicius. He gets a little hand on right there, a little hand on Jonathan Joseph to create a little bit of separation. Not what I would call a push-off, but, it's a physical game, Bill. You got to be able to use your hands once in a while. Good job by Joe Juravicius, giving Anderson a place to go with that football.
So 2 straight completions for Anderson. That was good for 13 yards, and he's going to go back to the air again. Edwards, did he get it off the turf? Yes. They rule it a catch. Braylon Edwards. And suddenly the Browns are down to the Bengals' 25-yard line.
They're trying to get the play snapped, I think, before Cincinnati has a chance to maybe review that play.
20-yard pickup. Lewis. And he's down close to the 21-yard line. Justin Smith made the tackle, and the Browns are on the move.
Bill, on that last play to Braylon Edwards, you're going to see right here, he is wide open. I wish Derek Anderson would have been able to put a better ball on him. You can see how open he is, and a big guy like Braylon Edwards, if he would have caught that ball on the move with the ball right on the numbers, he might be able to turn that up the field and split the seams. He's so big and strong on the outside. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. Give him a chance to run with that football after he catches it.
More than likely the last play of the opening period. Anderson. And that is incomplete. Edwards was the intended receiver, so they'll get at least one more.
You know, Derek Anderson is a kid, as you said, Bill, only making his 4th start today. Got a great opportunity, and he knows the situation. He's not naive enough to think that Brady Quinn is not going to be out there eventually, but he knows he's got a great opportunity, and Romeo Crennel and the staff would love nothing more than for him to play well and let Brady Quinn learn a little bit more over time and keep him off the field as long as they possibly can by good play from Derek Anderson.
Hoping to follow the Drew Brees model.
Exactly.
With a talented youngster waiting in the wings. And that is almost picked off and should have been.
Yeah, that's not going to get you too far in this league throwing passes like that. That was a very easy interception.
Caleb Miller
had a chance. You'll see Derek Anderson. I don't know whether he just didn't see him or what, but boy, Caleb Miller, he knows he's not going to get an easier chance than that to make an interception.
So Phil Dawson will try another field goal. He already has one of 39 yards. And this will be another 39-yard attempt. Trying to cut the lead to 1. And it's good. So 5 seconds left in the first, and it's 7-6 now, Cincinnati. Effectively took Jamal Lewis out of the game plan. Tam Perry, the deep man for Cincinnati. And on the run, bobbles it, still on the ground. Perry able to pick it up and brought down at about the 9-yard line. And they love it here in Cleveland. That's the end of the first quarter. Our score 7-6. We'll return to Cleveland after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, they gave Tab Perry forward progress on the return to the 15, so that's where the Bengals will go. Palmer rolling to his right and finds Chad Johnson short of the 30-yard line, out of bounds at the 29. Chad Johnson had 5 catches for 95 yards, including that 39-yard touchdown pass against the Ravens.
Chad really was not in this route. Carson Palmer was looking to the left side, but he's got the presence to know when his quarterback's in trouble. He's gonna be looking for help, and 85 is more than willing to be the recipient of a pass anytime.
4 catches for 54 yards. A big hole for Rudy Johnson.
It might get a hold on this.
And we have a flag down, and let's now a scramble for the football. The Browns say they have it. Whoa. And they do.
I think you're going to get a hold on the Bengals, which I think the Browns will be more than happy to decline and take that football at midfield.
Holding. Number 69 offense. Penalties decline. First down, Cleveland.
So another turnover for Cleveland.
And they are usually as effective protecting that football as anybody. You'll see the center, number 69, Stepanovic right there. Yeah, kind of a takedown. And then at the end of the play, see Rudy Johnson, a lot of people coming in trying to get that ball, and great job of stripping it by Antoine Peak, number 56. Now the question would be, if I'm Marvin Lewis, was my guy, did he have his knee down before that ball actually came out? I think it was a pretty good job by Antoine Peak.
And it looked like Lee Bodden was the one who came up with it. They run the reverse. And out inside the 40-yard line goes Joshua Cribbs, the former quarterback from Kent State. They'll move him around. He'll line up in the backfield and then out wide. Let's take another look at the reverse.
Yeah, you see big Eric Steinbach, number 65, coming out there leading the way around the corner and getting a piece of it, trying to create a lane for Joshua Cribbs, who, as you said, is a former quarterback, but he's their return man. he's a guy that they want to try and find ways to get the ball to him because he is dynamic with the football in his hands.
From the 38-yard line, Lewis loses the handle, and he's going to be stopped for a loss. Cleveland very lucky they didn't hand it right back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Robinson made the stop. Now, this is unusual because Cincinnati has been one of the top teams in the National Football League during the Marvin Lewis era with a positive turnover ratio.
Yeah, they're always on the plus side, and the record when they're on the negative side is not too good, and that's directly related to all around the league. It's the same story. If you lose that turnover battle, you're going to probably lose the game.
2nd and 13, incomplete. Lawrence Vickers, the fullback who caught a touchdown pass last week, was the intended receiver. He was well covered by Landon Johnson. And there's the takeaways category. The Bengals with 117, the most in the NFL since 2004.
And if you were to look at the giveaways on the other side of the token, you would see that Cincinnati is one of the best as far as protecting the football as well. That's a very strong point of emphasis for Marvin Lewis, and they're not doing a great job of it today at this point.
Bengal defense trying to make a stand here. They're showing blitz, and here they come. Anderson, and that's caught. Another first down. It's Winslow.
Well, that is a heck of a throw and catch by Derek Anderson and Kellen Winslow. This is another ball that very easily could have been picked off by Caleb Miller if he had gotten his head around. But Derek Anderson, he's got a lot of confidence. He told us in our meeting on Friday, he's got a lot of confidence. He's such a weapon, Kellen Winslow. And he doesn't hesitate to try and throw a strike. He knew Caleb Miller was not looking. He could probably zip that ball right by his head and delivered a strike.
That was good for 20 yards. Close to the 20-yard line now. 1st and 10, back to the ground. Lewis, there was a hole briefly, but it closed in a hurry. He is inside the 20, and John Thornton brought him down. 2nd and 8.
You know, Bill, that's something, too, that I think people don't understand how hard it is to get a receiver open in the NFL. And your coach as the quarterback, hey, if that guy's not looking, your receiver's open. If the defensive player is not looking on this particular type of pass, you can just go put it right behind his head because he won't find the football. You got to make that play. And Derek Anderson giving his players a chance. That was good to see.
Winslow with 4 catches last week for 83 yards. 2nd and 8. Lewis right side trying to find something. Lowers his head and pulls his way down to the 17, maybe the 16-yard line. Michael Myers made the stop, and he of course had the interception on Monday night to seal the win for Cincinnati.
A very athletic interception, selling out, plucking that ball with his fingertips to seal the game against the Ravens.
That was a pickup of 2. 3rd and 6 for Cleveland. Cincinnati took the early lead for 2 turnovers.
Man-to-man.
Cleveland field goals at 7-6. Anderson to the corner. Touchdown. Joe Jurevicius. He goes over and salutes the pound. And the Browns have the lead. 17 yards from Anderson to Jurevicius.
You're going to see right here, this is Joe Jurevicius in the slot, and Derek Anderson sees man-to-man coverage across the board. No hesitation, knows he's got 6'5" Joe Jurevicius matched up on the rookie cornerback Leon Hall. Great decision and a perfect throw, giving his Browns the lead for the first time today.
Extra point is good. 10:56 left to play in the half, and the Browns have the lead. "49 yards after the Rudy Johnson fumble. It ends with a 17-yard touchdown reception by Joe Jurevicius. 7 plays on the drive. And remember, Rudy Johnson had that fumble on Monday night that kept the Ravens in the ball game.
Yeah, recently protecting the football has been an issue for number 32, Rudy Johnson. He's usually one of the very best in the the first lead this season for the Cleveland Browns. Not only first lead today, first lead of the season. But Rudy Johnson has had a problem in recent games. Toward the end of last year, first 2 games this year, protecting that football. He's got to get out of that funk.
Short kick taken by Perry at the 7, and he's got some room. Cutting to the outside and finally collared down, and we have a flag on the return. Kenny Wright. Might have been a horse collar. He had him by the back of the jersey, so let's see what the call is.
This was actually thrown away from the play, so I don't think it had anything to do with the tackle. I think it had to do with some kind of block.
Pete Morelli is our referee today. Tab Perry shaken up, and they're already down a bit of receivers.
Offsetting penalties.
Yep, we're going to have offsetting. 10:49 left in the half.
There are fouls by both teams on the play. Offside, number 22 of the kicking team, holding number 57 of the receiving team. The penalties will offset and will re-kick.
So we'll go again, and we'll see. Perry will not be the return man as he goes to the bench, and we'll see who comes out. It could be Skylar Green.
It was a scary tackle. Like, it was almost a horse collar, like you said, Bill, and that's a point of emphasis this year. But really, you know what happened? He hit that right knee, hits the ground pretty hard. It might have jarred his groin or his hip. You'll see his right knee right there, boom, hits the ground first. That kind of jars, puts a lot of pressure on that hip and groin area, and he looks like he's in some serious pain right now.
So there's Eric Wright, who made that tackle, the rookie out of USC and then UNLV, who many consider to be a steal when the Browns got him in the 2nd round. So back deep now will go Glenn Holtz and Kenny Watson. And we'll kick it once again, with Cleveland leading 13-7. Taken by Holt at the 5. Holt brings it out to the 33-yard line. David McMillan made the stop. Carson Palmer back to work when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC's new $2.99 deals. A real deal for lunch for just $2.99 at KFC. DirecTV. For the most sports in HD, you have to get DirecTV. And by Sprint, proud sponsors and avid fans of the NFL.
The Cincinnati offense has been quiet since that opening scoring drive. They went 70 yards since then, 2 turnovers. They go back on the ground. And that is Rudy Johnson fighting his way out across the 40. Tab Perry, and we get word it's a hamstring injury, and his return is doubtful. His 3rd year out of UCLA. So again, the Bengals awfully thin at wide receiver.
And Marvin Lewis was excited talking yesterday about how he has stepped up and been that 3rd receiver they've been looking for in Chris Henry's absence.
Rudy will be stopped for a loss by Brodney Poole coming on the safety blitz.
Great job by Brodney Poole, number 21. You see him right there just sniffing it out. Does a great job of reading where the play is designed to go and then closing and making the tackle.
No huddle. 3rd and 4. Watson is in the backfield. Movement in the line, and now flags, and we'll sort it out. Robert Smith, the right defensive end, may have moved first.
Cleveland saying that they were drawn.
Offside. Right defensive tackle. 5-yard penalty result of the play is the first down.
I said, I'll look in there and have it for you.
There's Robert Smith, and We were talking earlier this week about the way Carson Palmer gives his count. Let's see if we can listen in.
Yep. That was intended to draw them off sides. A great job of using the snap count. That's one of the quarterback's biggest, one of the offense's biggest advantages, as Carson Palmer right now changing plays.
So from the 44-yard line, 9:15 left in the first half. Rudy Johnson, nice hold. And he's into Cleveland territory. Brought down at the 49-yard line by Brodney Poole.
And this is what Carson Palmer and the Cincinnati Bengals want to try and do. They want to control the tempo. If they can get that running game going, Carson does a great job at the line of scrimmage of determining what's the best play to be in.
2nd and 3. Carson to the sidelines. And Chad Johnson, he made the catch. Out of bounds, textbook at the 39-yard line.
Oh, just tremendous feet and field awareness by Chad Johnson. Carson Palmer identifies the single coverage. Look at these feet. Boom, toes down, control of the football. That is hard to coach that stuff.
No huddle again, left side. Rudy Johnson pops out. And finally brought down at the 32-yard line by Lee Bodden. Slow getting up. First hit was applied by Robert Smith. Let's take another look.
And this is a good hit, good solid hit. But you know, Rudy Johnson is not a small human being, Bill. And it takes a little bit more than a pop to get him down. You got to take him down.
2nd and 3. Carson runs it to the other sideline, and that is caught.
That's Holt.
Glenn Holt, who is in there because Tab Perry has gone to the locker room with a hamstring injury. Glenn Holt in his 2nd year out of Kentucky.
You see, Chad Johnson said one of the things that's unique about going against Lee Bodden is the fact that he comes up and tries to bump, and he tries to slow play and initiates late contact. And Chad Johnson said he had a plan for how to counter that. It looked to me like his plan is to counter back by getting physical as soon as he sees Lee Bodden get physical with him. That right there was a nice catch by T.J. Holt on the outside, on the other side of the field.
The Bengals on the move. First down, Palmer with time, lofts it, Hushmanzada, touchdown. T.J. Hushmanzada with his 2nd touchdown catch of the year. It covered 23 yards.
And, you know, watch Carson Palmer stand in there. You cannot coach this. You got a free run coming right in his face. He stands in there and delivers a strike. That was Orpheus Roy coming right at him. Now, question is whether those feet were both down. I think the Cleveland Browns fans have a good argument here that maybe both those feet weren't down. Romeo throwing the flag.
Red flag. Let's take another look. No.
That left foot. He's got to have control with both feet on the field of play. And Romeo's telling exactly right. The replay just showed me that left foot was not down.
Cleveland has challenged the ruling on the field that it is not a catch.
Well, he had some time to watch the big screen replay before throwing that flag, and we have a challenge. 7:33 left in the half. Take another look, though. It looks fairly clear cut.
Yeah, you know what? It is close only because that left foot is almost, it's just barely coming off the ground when the ball hits his hand, and you got to have control with both feet.
Field stands, touchdown.
Oh, how about that?
And you know what it is, Bill? It's got to be.
The possession began the moment the ball hit his hands.
The moment it hit, and it's got to be clear.
How about that look?
He knows he got away with one.
Wow.
Romeo, I think, has a very good argument and good reason to be upset with this. To me, in my opinion, that play could have been reversed, but it has to be in the referee's mind. It's got to be indisputable evidence. There's got to be no argument at all can be made that foot was in bounds because it was ruled a catch.
Sheen Graham Going to try the extra point. And that gives the Bengals the lead with 7:33 left in the half. 14-13. Here's Romeo. We know what he thought. Oh, no. And how about TJ? Well, okay. I'll take my second touchdown of the year. 14-13.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for a Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. And by HP. Explore your creativity at hp.com/what do you have to say.
7 plays, 65 yards on the drive, and what will be a controversial touchdown catch by TJ Houshmandzadeh. And the word we get is that the replay was inconclusive, so they couldn't overrule the call. Joshua Cribbs with the return. Still on his feet. Cribbs up the sidelines. Joshua Cribbs, and finally brought down at the 12-yard line by Leon Hall, the rookie. Joshua Cribbs, who has returned a kickoff for a touchdown in each of the last 2 seasons.
We talked how the Cleveland Browns they want to try and find ways to get the ball in this kid's hands. He's in his 3rd season. They already know that when he gets the football, good things happen. You can see his natural running ability. He's got the speed and the feel of how to set up these blocks. And with that return right there, he moves into 2nd place all time in only his 3rd year with the Browns. 2nd place all time in their kickoff return list.
85-yard return, and the Browns are right back in business. They spotted at the 11-yard line. Jamal Lewis lowers his head, powers his way inside the 10. Now, Mato Pecco, the left defensive tackle, made the stop.
Now that return means something if the Cleveland offense can cash in and get a touchdown on this drive. It'd be a big letdown for the whole team if after Joshua Cribbs' great effort, this team cannot cash in from 12 yards out, 11 yards out, and get a touchdown out of this deal.
2nd and 8 from the 9, and after that 0-5 start, Anderson's been playing well. Short drop. Incomplete. Braylon Edwards was the intended receiver, so that'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Boy, and I'll tell you, I would have liked my chances if I'm Braylon Edwards. If that ball is anywhere near where I can catch it, I've got one-on-one coverage on the outside with just a cornerback trying to bring me down. Look, where was he throwing this football? I don't really know. It was an unobstructed throw. Braylon Edwards is not even in the play. It looked like he was throwing a quick out, and Braylon Edwards was running a quick hook.
So 3rd and 8. Browns threatening after the great return by Joshua Cribbs. Anderson over the middle. Touchdown! Joe Jurevicius with his 2nd touchdown catch of the game.
Derek Anderson did a great job of not trying to. He was very patient back in. Did a good job looking off and then coming back to Jurevicius in the back of the end zone. Threw a great ball, touchdown.
The extra point is good. And the Browns have regained the lead. 20-14 with 6:32 left in the half.
Yeah, you see a little pump fake right there. Held the safeties and linebackers in the back of the end zone. Let Joe Jurevicius slip right behind him into the soft spot, and right on the money by Derek Anderson.
And Derek Anderson says, no, Brady, it's not your time quite yet. 20-14 Browns. By Joe Jurevicius. So a surprise here in Cleveland. The Browns giving the Bengals all they can handle here in the first half. Holt takes it at the 3-yard line. Trying to get to the outside, and he won't do it. Brought down at the 11. Great coverage by Cleveland. Jason Wright made the stop. And coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB and company for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from week 2. That's all coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Now, Carson Palmer has been perfect on the Bengals' 2 scoring drives, a combined 7 of 7 for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the offense has been less than perfect in the other possessions.
An interception and a fumble. And the Browns have the momentum right now.
Houshmandzadeh's the motion man. Palmer guns it complete. And Houshmandzadeh dives forward out to the 21 or 22 yard line. And he beat the rookie Eric Wright. So Cincinnati up quickly. Plenty of time. They've had good field position all day. Second and short. Palmer, 3-step drop up the sidelines, and that is Glenn Holt, who is brought down hard, and now we have a flag. Rodney Poole, the free safety, applied the hit.
And they're both hurt. Rodney Poole
doesn't look good.
No, he's a little unsteady right there. You hope both of them are okay. That was a violent hit, and then the call was a head-to-head collision. And even though I don't think it was intentional, they're so aware and so concerned about player safety that whenever it's a head-to-head blow like that.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. And the 20-yard defense. Contact with the helmet. 15-yard penalty.
Leading with the helmet is the call.
And I understand why the Browns fans are upset, and I actually agree with them that was not. There's no other way that I think Rodney Poole could have gotten over and made this play. He's just trying to go in there and make a hit, but his head was down.
And he got him right under the face
right under
mask.
the chin.
Let's listen. Oh, man.
That hurts.
And he hung on to the football.
That is a tough young man right there. Both of them, yeah. And Bill, you were exactly right. It was leading with the helmet. You could see before the contact that Rodney Poole's head did go down, and that's what the penalty was called. Leading with that helmet is a very strong point of emphasis for the referees in this league. They don't want any of that, even though I do believe it was not intentional.
Well, it was good for 22 yards. And, of course, after the hit last week and the injury, Kevin Everett of the Bills, obviously that's a concern for the National Football League, and they are taking absolutely no chances.
Yeah, these medical staffs, yeah, they are all over it now. They understand how sure they have to be before they let these guys get back out on the field.
2 tight end formation, Reggie Kelly and Daniel Coates, the rookie free agent out of BYU. First down, Rudy Johnson, right side. He hits a wall at the 41-yard line. Morpheus Roy stacked it up. So 2nd and 8. 11 carries for Rudy Johnson, 61 yards. He does have a touchdown reception. Clock running. 5 minutes remaining in the half. Movement in the line. Palmer tries to escape and get a free play, but let's sort things out. Robert Smith was across the neutral zone.
I think they're going to call this the rare off or illegal procedure on the quarterback. I think it was a mix-up between he and the backup center, Stepanovic. That ball didn't come up when Carson thought it would.
Defense, offside, number 98.
Wow.
Penalty remaining, 2nd down.
Called that on Robert Smith. You'll see Carson Palmer kind of falls out of there without the ball. He was expecting the ball to come up right now. There it is. He's leaning back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that is the move that I think drew Robert Smith off sides. And you got man-to-man coverage now on the outside. I would expect Carson to try and take a shot up the field, one of his receivers
Big
right here.
break for Cincinnati, 2nd and 3. Rudy spins his way down close to the 27-yard line. Sean Jones, the strong safety, made the stop. Clock continues to run. 4:20 remaining in the half.
Chad Johnson, he's been the recipient of many passes. No big plays really yet, but they're going to find their opportunities to try and take shots.
And he's sneaking up on the all-time record for a Cincinnati Bengal, held by Isaac Curtis. So first down, Palmer. Bengals want more up the sidelines. Houshmandzadeh, he was in the area, but not close.
That was great pressure by Orpheus Roy.
Yeah.
Big number 99, 330 pounds. Boy, you put Ted Washington and Orpheus Roy side by side. That's some big boy. That's a lot of beef. Look at that. Ooh, man, right through and then right on top of him. Carson Palmer's a big quarterback, but he doesn't enjoy that kind of pancake very often,
Orpheus
I don't think.
Likes to hang out with Ted because it makes him look thin. Two veterans. Been doing it for a long time in the NFL. 2nd and 10 now for Cincinnati. Palmer, plenty of time over the middle. And that was almost intercepted. We have a flag.
Yeah.
Houshmandzadeh pointing at the Browns secondary.
I think they're going to call Eric Wright, the rookie, for illegal contact up the field or holding on Houshmandzadeh.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Number 24 of the defense, 5-yard penalty.
And they get the rookie.
First down.
Eric Wright, and how often do you see it? Young guy in the National Football League, and he gets caught with a double move.
Yeah, you'll see T.J. Houshmandzadeh does a good job of giving the little out fake, and you know, it wasn't intentional again, but Eric Wright, he's not in college anymore. There's a huge difference between the rules in college and the rules in the NFL. If there's any contact up the field outside of that 5-yard zone, the referees are going to throw that flag.
Impeding his progression to the football. That was the 3rd penalty on this drive. So first down from the 23-yard line. Rudy Johnson maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. He hit that wall. Robert Smith, Orpheus Roy, and Ted Washington.
You know, I look at that.
That says it all right there.
There's
Big Ted.
How many burgers you think you can get in that belly right there?
4-time Pro Bowler.
Yep.
Browns are a 7th stop in the NFL. Originally a first-round pick of the 49ers back in 1991.
39 years old and still going.
2nd and 10. Houshmandzadeh in motion. Palmer. Chad Johnson touchdown. He was all alone. The defensive back slipped. And where will he go? He doesn't know where the pound is. Let's see. He said,
we asked him
can I go over here?
We asked him about that. We said, well,
oh, here he goes. This isn't the pound, though. They're bringing him back.
He said, what if it's at the opposite end?
That was Reggie Kelly who kept him from going into the seats. Needs to get a stadium map.
Well,
22 yards on the touchdown catch, and they're waiting on the other end of the dog pound.
He still might find his way down there.
Shane Graham, extra point. And again, Cincinnati regains the lead, 21-20. That is the 4th lead change in this quarter.
Tremendous route by Chad Johnson. But watch this, Carson Palmer standing in the pocket again. You're going to see DeQuell Jackson coming right in his face, but Carson Palmer knew that he had the matchup on the outside, and Chad Johnson was wide open. He knew he just had to get that ball in the area of Chad Johnson, and he'd have a sure touchdown.
Lee Bodden slipped. So all alone, and with that catch, he becomes the all-time leading receiver in Bengals history.
He's confused. He wanted to go in the dog pound. He doesn't know which way it is.
It's the other side.
We'll see exactly what happened here. Chad Johnson makes the move, and Lee Bodden slips, but it was that little juke at the top of the route to his right that got Lee Bodden thinking he was going to the post, and That's with the receiver of Chad Johnson's caliber, you make one slight mistake, you're going to pay the price every time.
There's the stat. We can get official. Chad Johnson, the all-time leading receiver for the Bengals. Cribbs awaits a yard deep in the end zone. Joshua Cribbs. We have a flag, and he's still on his feet. He breaks loose again. Cribbs. And he gets it down inside the 5-yard line, but let's check the penalty. It's back down the field. There are 2 flags near the 20-yard line.
What a tremendous effort by Joshua Cribbs, but unfortunately this was going to come back.
During a return, there are 2 fouls on the play. Holding number 53 of the receiving team. Penalties declined. Also a block in the back, number 51 of the receiving team. That penalty will be accepted. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So a 97-yard return, and they're going to bring it back. And let's see if we can pick up the penalties.
Well, you know, this is probably 200 yards of rushing for Joshua Cribbs. You see Leon Hall, he makes the initial hit, and guess who was hustling and made the tackle down at the end of the play? It was Leon Hall.
The rookie, yeah.
Still hustling to try and make a play, save the touchdown that it would have been coming back anyway. But Joshua Cribbs has run for over 200 yards of returns with no touchdowns the last couple kickoffs. He has got to be hurting.
They got the oxygen over there.
Oh man, his legs are on fire, his lungs are on fire.
He had 4 returns of 50 yards or more last season, and he's done a good job. The Browns were 2nd in the NFL in starting field position last year. So what do you do here? Do you let the guy run the 2-minute offense, or do you just kind of let the first half end and you're close, 21-20?
I think you probably throw something safe or run the ball.
That's safe. Edwards. A little spin move and out across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Lamar Marshall, strong side linebacker, made the stop along with Caleb Miller.
And you've got still plenty of time, 2.5 minutes left. They're not even in a 2-minute situation yet. I think Romeo's saying that if we can get a couple of first downs or you know, get a couple chunks of yards, then we'll think about getting into a hurry-up offense. But you sure don't want to go 3 and out and give the ball back to Carson Palmer and company with 2 minutes to play.
After being shut down by the Steelers, they've scored on 4 straight possessions. 2nd and short. And keep it on the ground. Lewis with some room. Jamal Lewis. And into Cincinnati territory.
And now you'll see, as we go to the 2-minute warning, you'll see Cleveland in a 2-minute situation now.
And we'll see what Derek Anderson can do with that. 2 minutes remaining, 21-20. Cincinnati in what has been a very entertaining half. A pickup of 31 yards for Lewis. Turnovers. And with 2 minutes left from the 48-yard line of the Bengals.
Really 7 of his last 11 after that 0-for-5 start.
Showing blitz, and here they come. Anderson gets rid of it. That's caught near the 40-yard line by Winslow. And they'll get up there in a hurry.
I'm surprised they didn't call 2 in the huddle right there.
Have run, Steve, 24 plays, Cincinnati territory. Second down. Anderson with time gets rid of it. Edwards, intended receiver, and caught it on the rebound. Braylon Edwards, what great concentration.
That ball should not have been thrown, but boy, the Cleveland Browns got to be thinking it's about time we got a few breaks. This ball was thrown into triple coverage, tipped up in the air, and Braylon Edwards happens to be in the right spot and always looking for that ball. You see 3 Bengals right there ready to make a play, and great presence by Braylon Edwards to find that football and make the play.
Well, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB and company, all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 2. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. We've had a lot of highlights here in the first half, and just had another one from Braylon Edwards. We talked with Braylon earlier this week, and he really feels that this is a big year for him, his third year in the National Football League. There was the injury his rookie year, and he said he got discouraged at times last year and lost his focus, but now he really is trying to do the extra things to become the kind of receiver that he thinks he can be. One guy that he points to all the time is Chad Johnson. Says that's the kind of player that I want to be. I want to be a game-changing receiver. Well,
and I think what he's drawn from Chad Johnson, the fans only see the entertaining side of it, but he is one of the hardest workers in the league, and that's what Braylon Edwards wants to be known as, one of the hardest working wide receivers in the NFL.
After the acrobatic catch from the 25-yard line, Anderson, Winslow, touchdown, Cleveland. How about these Browns?
The versatility of Kellen Winslow. He runs like a wide receiver. He can get up the field and make plays up the field. Most tight ends can't get up the field pressure like he can, but you're going to see the ISO here. He's going against a corner. Jonathan Joseph gave up the inside leverage, and Derek Anderson saw no safety in the middle of the field, immediately knew where his best shot was, and threw a strike again to Kellen Winslow for the touchdown.
Dawson for the extra point with 1:06 left in the half, and it's 27-21 Cleveland. A 25-yard touchdown reception by Kellen Winslow, who has 4 catches for 72 yards. And the Browns have scored in their last 5 possessions, 2 field goals and then 3 consecutive touchdowns.
And if Derek Anderson continues playing like this, Brady Quinn will be gladly, as he mentioned to us yet in our meeting on Friday, he said, if I'm in there, that means Derek Anderson and our team are not doing well. It means bad things are happening. So he said, I really hope Derek Anderson does well and plays well and our team's winning, and they're not forced to put me in there sooner than they want to.
It's been a while since he's gotten in the end zone. He takes a well-deserved bow.
That is an interesting stat with Kellen Winslow. He had 89 catches last year, but only 3 touchdowns. So he, more than anybody, likes getting in that end zone. It's that'll be good for his confidence.
Holt is the deep man once again. Cam Perry is in the locker room. It's taken at the 4-yard line by Holt. And he brings it out across the 25-yard line near the 27. Jason Wright made the tackle. Well, we expected a positive day from Carson Palmer. Let's take a look at our quarterback comparison. But the big question was how Derek Anderson would handle things. And guess what? He's done quite well. A quarterback rating of 119.5 so far.
And both quarterbacks with 3 touchdown passes in the first half. I think I'm a little bit surprised that the Cincinnati Bengals defense, who blitzed so effectively and so relentlessly Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens, they haven't been as aggressive and attacking and forcing the issue with the Cleveland Browns today.
We've had 5 lead changes in this quarter. Just under a minute remaining. Palmer, the slant, and that is caught by Hushmanzada, and he's brought down at the 32-yard line.
And Romeo Crennel's got to be cringing. He's saying the only thing that went wrong with that touchdown drive is we scored too fast. Because Carson Palmer still had almost a minute to move this team up the field again.
Remember, they used those early timeouts, though, in the first quarter.
That's right.
Palmer. Out to Watson. And Watson is brought down hard, short of a first down. A pickup of just a couple.
Great athletic play by Orpheus Roy right there, sniffing out the screen and then just finding his way to the ball carrier and finishing off with a good solid tackle.
Cincinnati, 1 timeout remaining to the sideline, and that is caught by Hushmanzada. First down, tried to fight his way for extra yardage, but he was brought down short of the 40-yard line. Eric Wright made the stop. We have a timeout on the field now with 11 seconds remaining, and these two teams have gotten together and put some points up on the board before.
You know, I did this game a few years back, Bill. It was the second highest scoring game in NFL history in Cincinnati. It was like there was no defense on the field. Everybody that was on the field was scoring left and right. And Rudy Johnson ran for over 200 yards. Delta O'Neal right there with the interception that sealed the game late. But 58-48. What an unbelievable game that was. This game heading in that direction.
106 points were scored. 9 touchdown passes were thrown between the two teams. Kelly Holcomb for the Browns and Carson Palmer, they combined for 664 yards passing. So just 11 seconds remaining. The prevent defense in for the Browns. Palmer will throw it up the sideline. And that is caught. Chad Johnson, he goes down, and they're motioning for the guys to come up, and that will be the final play of the opening half. And a surprise, the Cleveland Browns lead it 27-21.
And then the guy that's not talked about too often, Joe Jurevicius, with 2 touchdown receptions in the first half.
Well, we have a new deep man, Jason Wright, and Joshua Cribbs. We saw him getting some attention on the sideline, so he is out. And Jason Wright now will try to bring it back. The Browns will have the ball to start the second half.
And the Bengals are happy that Joshua Cribbs is
yes,
back
they are
right now.
They scored only 27 or more points once all of last season. That was against Kansas City. The overtime game, 31-28. Already with 27 points, and we still have 2 quarters to go. A squib kick, and that will go out of bounds. It will be a touchback as it got into the end zone. So no return on the squib kick, and Derek Anderson will go right back to work. His numbers last Sunday, 13 of 28 for 184 yards and a touchdown and an interception. But he's done a very good job today running this Cleveland offense.
He really has, especially after that shaky start he got off to. No completions in his first 5 pass attempts. Really looked a little bit too fired up, a little bit jittery almost, and he's settled down very nicely and made some great plays.
Opening possession of the second half. And the Browns are a little disorganized in getting lined up properly. Kellen Winslow is at the lower part of your screen. Short drop. Anderson. Bad pass and intercepted. He was going for Braylon Edwards, and Dexter Jackson just waited. So the first big mistake for Derek Anderson.
Yeah, that was absolutely a terrible decision by Derek Anderson. Not the way you want to start the game off. He predetermined he was going to try and squeeze this ball in there on the sideline, and there really was no reason to even consider it. First down, backed up at your own 20-yard line. You try and pump a ball in there. Dexter Jackson on alignment was wide enough to where he should not even have been thinking about going up the sideline. You take your short route out in the flat, or you check it down to your back over the middle, and you live to see another day. You don't give Carson Palmer in this offense a short field to start the second half out and the momentum and take the crowd out of it and everything else.
So the Bengals will get it at the Cleveland 25-yard line. Johnson, Rudy Johnson. They tried to strip it away from him, and he got down close to the 10-yard line and hung onto the football. Mike Adams rode him down.
You know, Bill, in that second quarter, we had 5 touchdowns, 5 lead changes, and 345 yards of total offense combined in the second quarter. Derek Anderson right there. You see the 3 touchdowns, but boy, that was a big turnover to open the second half.
Rudy Johnson with 84 yards. First and 10 from the 11-yard line. Get down to the 1 for a first down. Again on the ground. Rudy powers his way forward and gets it down to the 3-yard line.
Yeah, I think Bob Bratkowski, the offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, is trying to make a statement here too, saying, you know what, let's quit the tiptoeing. Let's go straight at them and run the football, get physical, and try and establish ourselves and our identity again, and take advantage of the gift from Derek Anderson. Try and drive home the physical message they want to send with that running game.
Second down, 2 yards to go for a first down, 3 yards for a touchdown. Chance to regain the lead. Rooney. And he's close to the first down. It depends on where they give his forward progress.
It looks like they're going to probably mark him about a yard, inside a yard short of it, but it's going to be a long couple feet.
Bengals getting back to basics, and they're going to go no huddle. Third and 1. Quarterback sneak. He may not have gotten it. I'm not sure that running right at Big Ted Washington is the best idea.
Yeah, Carson Palmer is a big quarterback, but you could probably fit 2 of him inside Ted Washington, so that's not a good matchup, I don't think. They tried to get up and run it quickly.
Andre Davis, the middle linebacker, helped stuff it up.
You'll see. Oh boy, that was a great play right there by Andre Davis, jumping over the top. And there's no doubt when they're trying to rush up on the ball like that, the defense is not dumb. They know you're probably trying to get that easy, cheap first down with the quarterback sneak.
So we're going to see the field goal unit of Shane Graham and company come on the field.
And that's a huge success. Romeo Crennel knows if they can get away with either 0 points or 3 points after giving Cincinnati the ball on the 25-yard line going in, that's a big success for the Cleveland Browns.
Cut into the Cleveland lead. And it's good. So 27-24 now with 12:09 left in the third. So once again, Jason Wright is the deep man, and we get word that Joshua Cribbs is in the locker room with shortness of breath. So again, they squib it. It's taken bobbled by an up man and finally gotten and brought down hard at the 23-yard line. That was Lenny Friedman, an offensive lineman.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. The Ford F-150, built Ford tough. And by Miller Lite. Preserve the liquid sanctity of game day. Miller Lite, good call.
Well, I was at the game. How'd you know it was me? Browns take over. Second possession of the second half after the interception by Anderson. They keep it on the ground. Jamal Lewis fights his way out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Justin Smith made the stop, and we've had 38 points scored in less than 14 minutes of game time.
It has been wild and wacky. There's been about everything possible that could have gone on has happened in the last 14 minutes in this ball game. We've had kickoff returns, we've had turnovers, we've had great individual efforts.
That was a pickup of 4 for Lewis, so 2nd and 6 for Cleveland. Lewis is the motion man. He goes back to the backfield. He releases out, incomplete. They were trying to set up a quick screen. It was well covered by the Bengals. Leon Hall, the rookie, is out there, and we get word that Jonathan Joseph, the starting cornerback, has been taken in for x-rays. So Hall started last week out of the University of Michigan. Marvin Lewis told us that he has played far and above the way rookies normally do. He said, I've been very, very, very impressed with him.
And Jonathan Joseph was inactive last week, or a lot of the season last year, due to that foot injury. Hope it's not the foot again.
Third down. Anderson, plenty of time. Edwards. Did he make the catch? Yes. Braylon Edwards with an acrobatic grab at the 45-yard line, and they're going to get up in a hurry, perhaps trying to keep the review option out of the equation.
And Marvin Lewis has thrown the red flag already.
And he was quick. That was a pickup of 19 yards if it stands.
And he's on to what the Browns are trying to do. That's the second time they've tried to get up and get the quick snap. So, because once one play is run, after the play that is question or possibly going to be challenged, you cannot go back and challenge, obviously.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field that the receiver did not have 2 feet down inbounds when he was making the catch.
Let's see what we can see as they'll review this. One is down, dragging the toe. Oh, very close. Another great catch by Braylon Edwards.
Tremendous individual effort. You see that left foot is down, and look, you can see the dirt come up inbound. He drags that right toe. Absolutely textbook. What a tremendous individual effort.
And Romeo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a catch.
Yeah. You know what? These Browns, they've had a lot to get excited about today.
So from the 45-yard line, first down for Cleveland. The lead 27-24. The delay. Lewis close to a first down, dragging Justin Smith an extra couple of yards.
You're exactly right, Bill. That was a lead draw, a little delay, just to try and let the play develop a little bit, try and hold off the penetration, let those linemen kind of create some space for Jamal Lewis to follow his fullback right up the pipe, and good, strong physical run by Jamal Lewis.
Picked up an extra 5 yards after the initial contact. So into Cincinnati territory for the 45-yard line of the Bengals. And again, it's Lewis. And they may keep going to this well until the Bengals can stop him. Down to the 42-yard line. Friday was the 4th anniversary of Jamal's record 295 yards, which came against the Browns, rushing in 2003. But we've talked about the quarterback situation. Jamal is the 10th different starting running back the Browns have had here since 2003. That's the most in the NFL. Second down, and Lewis stopped for a loss that time. The 44-yard line, and John Thornton was there and blew up the play. And this, of course, was the record day, September 14th, 2003, playing for the Ravens, and he was all over the place. 295 yards as the Ravens beat the Browns 33-13.
And no one in the stadium would like to be that answer than more so than Jamal Lewis. He'd love to be that workhorse running back, getting that 25 to 30 carries a game.
3rd and long after the loss. So Anderson from the shotgun steps up to the sidelines, and that's caught by Winslow. Kellen Winslow's having a big day, and that's another Cleveland first down. Got a step on Deltha O'Neal.
And there aren't a lot of tight ends that can create separation against the cornerback as we look at the updated to-the-minute statistics for the fantasy folks out there. But, boy, you know, there's obviously a lot of confidence between Derek Anderson and Kellen Winslow. They like working together. They've been a very active tandem today, and Derek Anderson has no hesitation pulling the trigger to him, no matter who's trying to cover him.
Jason Wright has checked in. Winslow goes over to the right side in the slot. Anderson, pump fake up the sidelines, has Edwards, Braylon Edwards, touchdown! And he beat the rookie Leon Hall.
Great play call, maximum protection, little play action. Braylon Edwards did the little stutter and go on the outside and got all the separation he needed on Leon Hall. Ball delivered perfectly for the 4th time today, a touchdown pass from Derek Anderson.
34 yards, the touchdown reception. The lead is 10, and break up the Browns. Braylon Edwards, a nice little move on the rookie, and he's got 6 for Cleveland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon Wireless and by Claritin Allergy Products. Live Claritin Clear.
Romeo Crennel talked this week about getting the ball to his playmakers, and he's done that today with Edwards and Winslow. Edwards, 5 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Winslow, 5 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Bryn Holt at the 1 for Cincinnati. Nice burst. And a good return once again. This time it comes from the Bengals, and Eric Wright finally brought him down, and that will quiet the crowd. Just over 8 minutes left in the third. The Browns lead by 10. It's a surprise here in Cleveland.
Running to cover Skylar Green, and there was maybe a foot that Carson Palmer had to sit that ball in there, and he stuck it right on the money, and that's all it took to get Skylar Green on the outside.
Skylar Green, who has played primarily on special teams. That was a pickup of 18 yards. They spot it at the 16-yard line. The Bengals are threatening again. Rudy Johnson stacked up at the line of scrimmage, picked up maybe 1.
And Marvin Lewis, he's got to be wondering what the heck is going on here. We played so well defensively, but Bill, I think a point that cannot be overemphasized. That game Monday night, number one, it's a day less to prepare. They had a short week this week against a very physical Baltimore team that you come out playing the Ravens, you come out of those games beat up. So those could all be factors today for the Bengals.
2nd and 9. Gonzalez was the motion man. They go to the left side. Rudy trying to get the corner and picks up a couple. Dequell Jackson and Mike Adams forced him out of bounds. Well, check out the new NFL.com Game Center for exclusive video highlights, stats, and photos from today's games. It's all at NFL.com. Crowd on their feet here in Cleveland. It's been a while since they've had a lot to cheer about. And they are savoring this afternoon. 3rd, and we'll call it 8. Palmer with time. Gets rid of it. Touchdown. Chad Johnson. And we have a flag. And let's check the penalty. It's over on the far sideline. Chad's going into the pound. And he gets a little dose of beer. And a friendly greeting from the folks over there. Says no hard feelings, but it might be all for naught. Let's check the penalty.
They called on the Browns, whatever it was called, it was against the Browns. And Chad Johnson.
So the touchdown will count, and so will the trip to the pound.
Yes. He came out of there a little bit wetter than when he went in there. I'll tell you
Yes,
that.
he did.
Those boys, our buddies down there, we went down and talked to him before the game, and they said they'd welcome him. They weren't going to be too hard on him, but they got it. They made their point, I think, to him.
I don't think they expected a game like this.
No, I don't think so.
So the extra point is good. A 14-yard touchdown catch by Chad Johnson, who has 125 yards and 2 touchdowns now in the day.
And lost in all that, Bill, was it was a tremendous effort by Carson Palmer. You saw him hold the ball, hold. He waited as long as he could. He almost tucked it and ran, but he told us in our meeting yesterday, I do not like to run the football unless I have to. He bought just enough time, great protection by his line to find Chad Johnson, and there we go, up into the dog pound. They're trying to pull him in. Oh, there goes a beer. Carson Palmer, boy, he loves throwing the ball to Chad Johnson and company. They got a lot of weapons out there. They can make up a lot of points in a hurry.
Now he'll get dried off. He said, you know, they can do whatever they want to me. I'm going in there, and I'm going to tell them I love them. The thing about Chad Johnson is that he does a lot of stuff, and he draws a lot of attention to himself, but for some reason, he does it in a way that you don't seem to get angry at him.
Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, they don't understand it.
Over the years,
that was the river dance. T.O., I got you, baby. A little putting, a little golf. He can golf. He can propose.
A little resuscitation.
A little CPR.
And last week, future Hall of Famer.
But, you know, the thing about it, and you hit on it, Bill, perfectly, you talk to the opponents, people that play against him, and they absolutely love him, too. They love his personality. They love his enthusiasm, his energy. He makes it fun for everybody. They don't love the way he makes them look bad. But
love those 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Joshua Cribbs is back, and that's good news for Cleveland.
Well, what do you predict is going to happen next, Bill?
Oh, goodness. Who could have predicted this so far? Again, taken by an up man. And he's brought down at about the 34-yard line. I believe it was Darnell Dinkins on the return. Dinkins is a backup tight end. Chad's all smiles. 6:04 remaining in the third. 34-31, and don't miss the new show 7 Central on CBS. So the Browns will go back to work. Lewis, nice little move, cutting back inside. Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis will score. And it feels a lot better when he's wearing a Browns uniform. 66 yards. Huh. And that's what will happen next.
There you go. My goodness. He was not touched on this play. You'll see it's just a little counter action. Good job by the offensive line, the left side caving everything down to the right. And once Jamal Lewis got that big body through the hole, you know what? He hasn't seen that much green grass in front of him in a long time. He was going to get every bit of it, mow it all down, and take it to the house.
Are you kidding me? The extra point is good. And it's 41-31, and we still have just under 6 minutes remaining in the third. 139 yards after the touchdown run by Jamal Lewis. Wow. We've had 59 points scored in the last 20 minutes and 2 seconds.
And these are 2 defensive coaches, Marvin Lewis and Romeo Crennel. I'll tell you what, it's just baffling how many big plays have been made today and how it just keeps going back and forth.
Wow. And they are on their feet again here in Cleveland. Look at those numbers. 335 yards and 368 for Cleveland. Over 700 yards of offense. And we're not even in the fourth quarter yet. Holt, short kick. Holt with some room again. And gets it out to the 38-yard line. Well, coming up next, Larry Johnson and the Chiefs will tangle with Brian Urlacher and the Bears, and the Jets will battle the Ravens, while the Raiders take on the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area. So they spotted at the 37-yard line, and what's next?
You know, if you would have told Marvin Lewis you were going to give him 31 points today, you think he would have taken it?
Particularly after how well his defense played on Monday night.
Exactly.
Palmer. And that's caught by Hurst-Banzade, brought down immediately. Short of the 45-yard line at the 44 by DeQuell Jackson and Eric Wright. Rushing yards. And the passing yards, Cincinnati with a slight edge now. And total yards, Cleveland with the advantage. Second down and 3 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Rudy Johnson able to get away from the first tackler and into Cleveland territory. Once again, let's check in with JB in New York for an NFL update.
Hey, Bill and Steve, productive day for Brett Favre and the Packers. After a fumbled kickoff by the Giants, Favre back of the end zone bullet to Donald Driver, making a 28-13 pack. Back to Bill and Steve.
All right, JB. Donald Driver was injured in the preseason, so for Packers fans, that's good news that he seems to be at full speed. Palmer will throw again. Now he's going to run. He's got a little bit of room and does the slide down inside the 40. Down to the 37-yard line.
I don't know if we can call that a slide. I think we call that a plop. I mean, he didn't move too much when he hit the ground. And he told us yesterday he does not like to run, but that time he saw so much green in front of him, he had to take it and go. Look at that.
Well, he's enjoyed good games against Cleveland. He has a quarterback rating better than 95. Almost 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns coming into this one. He will pad those stats today. First down. Palmer again to the sideline. That's caught. And the pickup down to about the 34-yard line, and that's Daniel Coates, the rookie free agent out of BYU. The Bengals really like him. They've been impressed from the start with his ability as a receiver and has developed into a decent blocker. And a graphic that really says it all. We've only had 2 punts.
And by the way, that last throw by Carson Palmer didn't look like much, but there's not many quarterbacks in the league that could zip that ball in the way he did.
2nd and 6. Here come the Browns out quickly to the flat to Glenn Holt, and Holt scampers for another first down. So again, no huddle. Browns unable to change their defensive package. That is the 24th first down of the game, by the way, for the Bengals. This time on the ground. Rudy Johnson fights his way inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Sean Thompson, who plays in the nickel and dime packages, backup linebacker, made the tackle.
Boy, Todd Grantham's got to be scratching his head, trying to figure out how to. Cincinnati's doing a great job right now, spreading them out with 3 wide receivers. And Carson, if he gets the right numbers, they're running the ball. If he likes the one-on-one matchups, he's throwing the ball. He's really in control out there right now.
Managed this drive beautifully. 2nd and 2. And we have a flag.
False start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty.
False start, they call it on the left tackle, Andrew Whitworth. Well, in the last 2 quarters, how about those yardage numbers? Almost 600 yards.
Yeah, those first quarter numbers aren't bad, but I mean, they look bad compared to the last 2 quarters.
2nd and 7. After the penalty. Rudy, nothing. Boy. Nice defensive play up front by Cleveland. Robert Smith and Cameron Wembley led the charge.
A really good job by the Cleveland defensive front. I haven't said many good things defensively today, but they did a great job of penetrating and controlling that line of scrimmage, and Robert Smith shooting through the gap and making the hit in the backfield on Rudy Johnson. Now 3rd and 10 for Cincinnati. You would think the advantage would go to Cleveland here.
You would think. Browns need a stand. They're up by 10. Palmer. And that is caught once again. A beautiful pass and a fine catch down inside the 5-yard line by Chad Johnson.
Yeah. Chad doesn't want to give that ball up. That was boy, what a great catch. Throw and catch. 3rd and 10, and you had 2 deep man-to-man coverage. Cleveland's in the perfect coverage. You can see the position, but again, we saw right there Andre Davis, just as we saw earlier with Caleb Miller, the linebacker for Cincinnati. When their back is turned, the quarterback is going to find a way. That was Leon Williams. I'm sorry, number 94. The quarterback will drill that ball in there.
That was good for 22 yards. Chad now has 147 on the day. And that's Houshmandzadeh, a touchdown, and there'll be no doubt about that. That will not be reviewed. And he didn't even slow down. He put it over the goalpost.
No. Little finger roll. And Todd Grantham wondering what in the world do we have to do here?
Defensive coach's nightmare.
And just a really quick decision and throw. A little play action to hold the linebacker. You see Andre Davis step up, the linebacker number 54, and that opens up a hole over the top. And Houshmandzadeh, big-bodied wide receiver, gives Carson Palmer all the target he needs to stick it in there for another touchdown pass.
So he now has 2 touchdown receptions. The extra point is good. And we've had 79 points scored so far. The numbers for TJ: 6 catches, 55 yards. And the lead once again is 3, 41-38. Wow.
I'm running out of
Carson Palmer, by the way, nearing 300 yards, 23 of 27. He's had a very good day despite the early interception.
Yeah.
Throwing the football, 5 touchdown passes now. And this programming note: next Saturday, Spurrier in South Carolina travel to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. It all begins at 3 p.m. Eastern with TIAA Cref College Football Today with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman.
You know, we've seen a lot of kickoffs today, but one thing, Joshua Cribbs, the return man for the Cleveland Browns back there, he has scared Cincinnati so much so that all 3 of the kickoffs that Cincinnati's had this year, they've squibbed every one of them. They're not even going to give him a chance to return a kick today.
That, by the way, was the 3rd scoring drive in which Carson Palmer was perfect. He was 5 of 5 for 46 yards and the touchdown. Short kick. Here's Cribbs. And he has it out across the 40-yard line. So good field position once again for Cleveland. 42 seconds remaining in the 3rd.
And, you know, one of the things, when you look at the roster for the quarterbacks for the Browns, you see there is not much experience. The wily vet Dorsey there has got 10 total starts, and this is not a normal situation to have. When you look at the NFL average, most quarterback, you combine all the quarterbacks, you're looking at 93. But, boy, Derek Anderson, he's shown signs of being a young quarterback, but he's shown flashes of brilliance today, too.
218 yards, 4 touchdowns. Lewis stopped at the line of scrimmage. That one interception to start the second half. Jamal Lewis is helped up. There's our quarterback comparison.
23 of 27 for Carson Palmer. And look at the rating, both very high. 4 and 5 touchdowns, 1 interception each. Pretty impressive numbers, both sides, any way you slice it.
And we still have a quarter to go. 2nd and 9 for Cleveland. Short drop for Anderson. Slant to Edwards. And he's brought down at the 46-yard line. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll return to Cleveland after this message and a word from your local station. It has been a real shootout here in Cleveland. Browns lead at 41-38. And there's the scoring by quarter as we start the final period. 3rd down for Cleveland. Anderson. And Joe Jurevicius is close to a first down. It will depend on the spot.
Boy, you would think the veteran Joe Jurevicius, it looks like from here is short, but he's got that big, long body. He should have been stretching that ball out a little further. He's got the presence and the experience to know where that marker is. And you know, the question is, does Romeo Crennel go for it here? Well, with a 3-point lead, I don't know if you want to run the risk of giving the Cincinnati Bengals a short field.
And still looking for his first win against the Cincinnati Bengals.
It's definitely going to be short, no matter of how much. And you know, if they do decide to bring the punt team out, this would be a good situation to possibly run the fake punt as well, because you're near midfield. It's got a full foot. So he's got a decision. I think most coaches with the lead would probably decide to punt this, but he's saying go for it.
Yep, why not?
And you know what? The fans will appreciate that mentality, I'm sure. You got to. This is the kind of decision by a coach that can really either backfire or make your team really feel like, you know what, my coach is trusting me. It's going to get us over the hump with decisions like that. He's believing in us enough to go against what would maybe be the conventional wisdom here and take a chance.
Browns have punted only once in the entire game. Same number for Cincinnati. So 4th and less than a yard for the Browns.
I think you got to feed Jamal Lewis, even though everybody in the stadium knows it's coming.
They give it to the first man through. That's Lawrence Vickers, the fullback.
Oh,
and let's wait until they unpile.
It looks like he had to get to the 48-yard line, and the spot is just short of the 48-yard line.
Officials are right in there.
I mean,
that is very close.
It really is. It doesn't look to me as though he made it. And I'm surprised you wouldn't give it to your workhorse in a play that big. 4th and short, just not a lot of push. A great job on the interior defensive line by the Cincinnati Bengals. It's short.
And the Bengals defense is held. Remember how they came up big on Monday night in the win against the Ravens, keeping Baltimore out of the end zone. And they'll get it. Good field position.
You know, and I think Jamal Lewis is probably surprised too. I understand what Rob Chudzinski was trying to do. He thought that the Bengals would be focused on Jamal, but it just backfired on him.
So the Bengals get it just short of midfield. And Hishmanzada gets it into Cleveland territory. Driven out of bounds at about the 48-yard line.
But, you know, Bill, to talk about the decision that Romeo Crennel made, I think you can make a case for it either way. You really could make a case for it. It's a kind of decision that can energize a team, but it backfired on him there. I think if it was not as desperate a situation as it is for the Browns, as we watch Rudy Johnson pick up about 5 yards, if it wasn't the situation that they're in, how badly they want to win a game, how badly this team needs to have something to get them excited, to know that someone believes in them, I think you would have seen most coaches in the NFL with the lead try and pin a good offense like the Bengals back in their own end of the field with that lead.
Crowd coming to life. 3rd and 2 for Cincinnati. Browns are showing blitz, and Carson Palmer checks off at the line.
Yep. He's so good at that, at forcing them to show their hand.
Still coming. They pick it up now. Palmer flushed from the pocket out to the sideline. That's short of the first down and not a catch. Reggie Kelly, the tight end, was the intended receiver.
So now you're going to see Marvin Lewis, a very similar situation, although it's 4th and 2. Yeah, they're going to punt the ball.
And Robert Smith.
It's actually 4th and 1.
Flushed Palmer from the pocket.
Todd Grantham, defensive coordinator for Cleveland. He's excited that his team finally got a stop. You're going to see the Bengals punt for the second time today.
Kyle Larson's excited because he gets to go back out on the field. That is the first punt since 3:29 of the first quarter.
Good kick.
Yeah. And it will bounce backward and then down at about the 5-yard line. So a long field upcoming for the Cleveland Browns. 41-38.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Accord. Beyond the road, all new from Honda. The Comcast Triple Play. Experience TV, phone, and internet together like never before. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
We're approaching 800 yards of total offense in this wild one here in Cleveland.
12 yards away to be exact.
He ended up spotting it at the Cleveland 8-yard line. So 92 yards to go for the Browns. Lewis gets it out across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Justin Smith made the tackle.
Now, as well as Derek Anderson has played today, I think that the couple of throws that he's made today that have been a little shaky, you want to give the quarterback confidence. You might throw a nice safe pass here, but you're not going to see them getting carried away. Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, the worst thing that could happen here would be to give the ball to Carson Palmer and company with a short field. So you'll probably see another safe run or maybe a safe quick throw to the outside. That's about it.
2nd and 7 for Cleveland. Anderson. And he's got Hyden. That's a first down.
And what do I know?
That was a bold throw. Nothing safe about that, and it moves the chains.
That's the kind of call right there that if you're a quarterback, you want the coach to give you that opportunity. And Rob Chudzinski did a great job setting this up. Play action. You got the perfect coverage. Derek Anderson made the right read and delivers a strike to Steve Hyden right down the middle.
27 yards on the play. So now we're over 800 total yards in the game. 1st and 10 from the Cleveland 38-yard line. Blitz, here they come. Jamal Lewis. Lewis still on his feet and rumbles into Cincinnati territory down to the 48-yard line.
And you can see the confidence exuding from this Browns offense. And you can't emphasize enough the decision that Romeo Crennel made to go for it on 4th down, even though it didn't work out. The decision Chudzinski made to give Derek Anderson and Steve Hyden a chance to make that play backed up in their own end zone. Those are the kind of decisions that really tell a team, we're giving you the chance to make plays. Now you guys go out and do your job and make the plays.
An extra 6 yards after the initial contact, and Jamal Lewis has 155 yards, and Romeo wants a timeout. He just wants to catch his breath. 41-38. Goodness gracious. Derek Anderson and his crew back to work. On the Cincinnati 48-yard line, the bootleg, little pump fake, and finally gets it out. That's the fullback. What a move by Lawrence Vickers. And Vickers is close to a first down. And that was pretty nifty for the fullback.
For a 6-foot, 252-pounder, you don't see the spin move too often. Yeah, I thought Derek Anderson could have given the ball to him right now a lot quicker. He's the first read, but he got it to him late, and then, whoa, look at that little juke in the spin.
Wow.
And Caleb Miller caught him with his chest, too.
So that's a first down. Numbers for Anderson, 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's done a good job managing the game for Cleveland. It helps that Jamal Lewis has had a big day, over 150 yards rushing. The corner blitz, and they pick it up. Anderson all alone. Edwards! Is it a touchdown? Yes, there's the signal. He skidded into the end zone. .138 yards and now 2 touchdowns. And the Browns with the extra point trying to regain their 10-point advantage. The extra point is good. Another look at the second touchdown reception by Edwards all alone. A blown coverage. Touchdown Browns.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by the new AT&T, your world delivered.
We're back, and Phil Dawson and Shane Graham are going to have to ice their legs after all the action they've seen following the scoring. Just under 10 minutes remaining. It is a 10-point lead for Cleveland. Holt takes it at the 7-yard line. Still on his feet, picking his way up across the 30 and close to the 35-yard line. And Steve, let's take another look at the scoring play.
Well, you're going to see, Bill, you're going to see Dexter Jackson coming off the slot right here. He's going to just come straight off the slot. But the big guy to watch right here is Leon Hall, the corner. When the blitz comes, he's expecting a quick throw from Derek Anderson. He sits. Cleveland picks it up, no problem with the pressure, and Derek Anderson has Braylon Edwards wide open out there. Leon Hall, the rookie corner, gambling, thinking that there was going to be a quick throw coming out of there. Instead, Braylon Edwards went right past him. Easy touchdown. Great play by Braylon Edwards and Derek Anderson.
The Bengals will start from their own 35-yard line. Palmer dumps it off to Johnson. Nice little move, and he picks up 9. Lee Bodden made the stop, yard shy of a first down. Clock continuing to run. Less than 9.5 minutes remaining. 2nd and 1 for Cincinnati. On the ground, Rudy, and brought down at midfield. Rudy Johnson over 100 yards on the day, and also has a touchdown reception. 23 carries and 118 yards for Rudy Johnson.
I keep thinking one of these drives we're going to see a defense stand up here.
On first down, a bit underthrown, and Houshmandzadeh couldn't pull it in.
Todd Grantham thinking, boy, if we can just stop these guys one time, give our offense a chance to kind of pull away a little bit, that would be great.
It's a 2-score game, and Cincinnati has not been able to stop Cleveland. Carson checking off. He's moving Reggie Kelly, the tight end, over to the right side. Play clock is down to 2. Just got it off to Houshmandzadeh, incomplete, and he was well covered over there by the rookie Eric Wright.
Yeah, that was an example, I think, where Cleveland actually kind of outsmarted Carson. That doesn't happen too often, but I know for a fact that all that talking and communicating that Carson Palmer was doing, he wasn't looking to try and throw a 2-yard pass. He thought it was going to be a certain coverage. Cleveland did a good job of disguising it, forcing him into a throw he didn't want to make.
So it'll be 3rd and long, and this place is rocking. Everyone on their feet. From the shotgun. 3rd and 10. And we have a flag and whistles. He didn't get the play off.
Offense, 5-yard penalty remains, 3rd down.
So delay of game, and they'll march it back 5 to the 45-yard line.
Well, now the question goes to Marvin Lewis and his staff, and Bob Bratkowski, whether they want to try and get about half of this back. If they're considering themselves down 2 scores, they might be in 4-down territory. So you might not see Carson Palmer going for the whole thing right here.
8:46 left to play. Palmer with time to the corner. Big catch by Chad Johnson. Is he inbounds? No.
Well, what a great throw that was from Carson Palmer, though, to make that throw, drop it in there on the sideline. Chad Johnson must have been bobbling this ball because it looked like he was in with that right foot. Boy, he did catch that ball, just didn't get that right foot down. And that's one of those where you say, you know what, Chad, you didn't really have to jump for that ball. You could have just reached up with your hands and kept your feet on the ground. Seldom does he make bad decisions about how to catch a football. Right there, it would have been better served to just reach up with his hands instead of leaving the ground.
So a rare punt as we see Kyle Larson. And this is a short punt. Cribbs from the 22. A nice little spin move and gets it out to just beyond the 30-yard line. 8:29 remaining and some pushing and shoving after the 32-yard punt and a 7-yard return. Well, he's tall, dark, and immortal, and he's coming to take a bite out of Friday night. Moonlight premieres after Ghost Whisper, Friday, September 28th, here on CBS, America's most watched network.
Kind of like you, Bill. Tall, dark. Well, you're not tall, you're not dark, but
short, squatty, and losing his hair. And how about those numbers? Derek Anderson, 5 touchdown passes today. That ties the Browns franchise record. They're going to eat up some clock with Lewis, and he's got a big hole. Jamal Lewis up the sidelines, and another big game for Jamal Lewis. Right around 200 yards now. A great block from Joe Jurevicius. Sprung him.
You know, I would not want to be in Dexter Jackson's shoes. He's the one that had to face up. You see right at number 28. Watch him. He's got to face Jamal Lewis coming full speed right at the field. And boy, that is a hard man to bring down when it's just you and him, and he's rolling downhill like that. Dexter Jackson barely got a hand on him.
198 yards for Jamal Lewis.
9.5 yards a carry.
That was 47 yards on that last run.
And timeout by Cleveland. This is exactly what the Cleveland fans were looking for, though. Something to get excited about.
And they are excited. And we are now, take a look at that, well over 900 yards of offense. Got your calculator? Oh, like 942 to me.
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
You run out of descriptive words to justify what's going on here.
Well, if you have any of these guys in fantasy, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Even Anderson. I wonder if anybody picked up Derek Anderson going into this week. Jamal's at the top now. 203.
Chad Johnson right there. Braylon Edwards.
Jason Wright. Play action for Anderson. Over the middle, and that's caught. He continues to be so impressive. Kellen Winslow with another catch.
It's just baffling to me, Bill, how open these guys are and how easy they're making it look. Great route by Kellen Winslow. Just a tremendous play again, aggressive, keeping that mentality.
18 yards on that play, and Jamal Lewis is back in the game. Kellen Winslow right at 100 yards receiving now. Lewis, Jamal back inside, just short of the end zone.
And that Jamal Lewis going over 200 yards. And I hate to make excuses for Cincinnati, but I cannot help but think that this defense is just worn down and tired from the Baltimore game last week.
We want to welcome those of you just joining us. This has been a wild one here in Cleveland. The Browns threatening to go over 50. They lead 48-38. Jamal Lewis has over 200 yards. We're nearing 1,000 yards combined in total offense. And Lewis is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. A little less than 6.5 minutes to go. It has been a remarkable game on the offensive side of the football. 3rd and goal. And we're going to show you the 11 touchdowns. A reception by Rudy Johnson got things started. A close one by Hushmanzadeh. Jurevicius has a couple of them. Kellen Winslow, Braylon Edwards. And, of course, Chad Johnson. T.J. Hushmanzadeh has a couple of them.
And that last play we saw was about the best stand by the Cincinnati defense we've seen in a long time.
Well, they've got to stop him here. Anderson throws it away. Over the head of Kellen Winslow, who was well covered.
And I think you're going to see Romeo. He did go for it earlier on 4th down and short, but I think right here with a 10-point lead, you take any points you can. You make it a two-touchdown game
yeah,
as opposed to a touchdown and a field goal game.
Bill McAtee and Steve Berline, good to have you with us. As we see Phil Dawson, who didn't have a field goal try last week, made a couple today. An 18-yard field goal try for Dawson. And it's good. And that is our 89th point of the game. 51-38 Cleveland.
And we mentioned it earlier, but Marvin Lewis, if you told him he was going to get 38 points today, you'd think he would take that in a heartbeat. How well his defense played Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens. But boy, with this Cleveland Browns offense surprising, exploding with Derek Anderson at quarterback, a guy making literally his fourth start. Jamal Lewis, who didn't do much last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, to come in and 200 yards running and 5 touchdowns by Derek Anderson. Pretty impressive.
He only had 35 yards in the game against Pittsburgh. Well, let's take you back. November 28, 2004. These two teams combined for 106 points. Second most scored in the game in the NFL. 9 touchdown passes were thrown between the two teams. Kelly Holcomb was the Browns quarterback. Carson Palmer for Cincinnati. They combined for 664 yards passing, and Cincinnati won 58-48.
And Bill, I was at that game covering the game for CBS, and this is the only game since that has come close to the excitement, the scoring and the fireworks that I've seen in the last 3 years.
5:44 remaining. A little squibber, and that's taken by the up man once again. Directing some traffic. And out across the 35-yard line to the 37 goes Reggie Kelly, the tight end. Now here are some of the numbers from the game. 426 total yards for the Bengals. The Browns have 538. And look at all of those plays, 10 yards or more.
36 plays of 10 yards or more. That is just astronomical for the NFL. You got to make plays, but that's going a little bit above and beyond, if you ask me.
The all-time record, by the way, was when the Redskins beat the Giants back in 1966, 72-41. First down, Palmer to Kelly, the tight end, who dives forward. Gets it to the 44-yard line. Cincinnati up in a hurry. Clock continues to run. Less than 5.5 minutes remaining.
I think that the Cincinnati Bengals need to have a little bit more urgency now and kind of run instead of just the no huddle. They need to get in hurry-up mode. We're coming up on 5 minutes left in the game, and they've got to score 2 touchdowns.
2nd and 2, 51-38, Cleveland. Palmer under pressure got rid of it. And that was a nice catch by Holt near midfield. But again, they'll give them the stuff underneath. Orpheus Roy was in a hurry on Carson Palmer. And it looks like that's Holt. And he is struggling after the catch. Once again, the Bengals are very thin in the wide receiver area.
Tab Perry having to leave the game with the hamstring injury early in the game. It's given Glenn Holt a chance to come in and make some plays, and he's done that all day. And it seemed like he's favoring that right leg. It might have been a little bit of a leg whip, accidental leg whip that he threw that caught that leg in an awkward position or awkward spot.
The Bengals just re-signed Antonio Chapman this week, but he's inactive. Chapman missed all of training camp. Well, the Derek Anderson era begins, and we don't know how long it's going to last with Brady Quinn waiting in the wings, but couldn't ask for a better start. He'll probably get the win unless Carson Palmer can pull a miracle. 320 yards, and Brady says that's okay.
Yeah, he was the first one to tell us that if he's in there, that means things aren't going well. Well, things have been going well for the Browns today.
Clock is moving, 4.5 minutes left. 13-point lead by the Browns. Palmer Incomplete. Houshmandzadeh, the intended receiver, couldn't haul it in at the 36-yard line. Eric Wright, the rookie, had fine coverage.
You'll see this is good coverage by Eric Wright, the rookie. They tried to get him on a double move. They got him a little bit earlier on a double move, but right there he's in good position. Didn't give an inch to TJ Houshmandzadeh. Made a nice close on the ball.
Let's stop the clock. 4:21 remaining. 2nd and 10 from midfield. Palmer has time. Incomplete.
Oh.
Chad Johnson could not bring it in, and that was in and out of his hands. A very catchable ball.
Yeah, Ocho Cinco knows it right there. That's a play he's got to come up with for his team. That ball was right on the money, right on time from Carson Palmer. You'll see Chad does a great job at the top of the route getting in front of the DB. The ball hits him right in the chest. And Carson Palmer, he's not used to seeing Chad Johnson or any of his receivers not bring that ball in.
The Bengals have 4 drops here in the 4th quarter. So 3rd and long, and again on their feet and cheering here in Cleveland.
And here they come.
Palmer to the sideline, overthrows Houshmandzadeh. It'll bring up 4th down.
But you got to go for it here if you're the Bengals. You can't kick in this situation. You haven't stopped Cleveland all day, and you've only got about 4 minutes left in the ball game. You've got to find a way to make this conversion and get the ball in the end zone. Give yourself a chance to win this ball game.
There's so much talk about the resurgent Bengals defense after the scrap on Monday night with the Ravens. Cleveland appeared to be in disarray early on offensively. They make a trade. They get rid of Charlie Fry 2 days after he starts in week 1. And here they explode for 51 points. Cincinnati, though, still alive. Chad Johnson, and he's out of bounds down about the 15-yard line. So on 4th and 10, Chad Johnson able to come up with the goods from Carson Palmer.
Well, this is something that Chad Johnson and Carson Palmer, I think, worked on or talked about in the huddle. They found out something about Lee Bodden, number 28, the corner there. They saw the way he was playing the coverage, and they made an adjustment because we have not seen that route all day long. And boy, what a big time to come back and go to that play. Big-time players making big-time plays to stay in it.
Now we're over 1,000 total yards in this game. That reception was for 32 yards for Chad Johnson, who's nearing 200. Lofts it to the corner. Incomplete. Skylar Green, second-year man out of LSU, was the intended receiver.
And that's an example right there. You talk about losing players. You're losing Tab Perry, losing Glenn Holt, guys that maybe have had some reps with Carson Palmer in those particular situations on that route. I guarantee you Skylar Green is the return man. He doesn't get a lot of reps in practice, and maybe he was a little bit off on his timing, but whatever the reason, Carson Palmer threw a ball that he normally would complete. He threw a little bit too far.
3:59 left. 2nd down. From the 18-yard line, Palmer guns it. Throws behind the receiver. It was Reggie Kelly. He couldn't turn and bring it in.
And you know, Reggie Kelly was open there. That was Carson Palmer knew right away where he was going. But we've seen a few balls get away from him today, and it happened last week in the Baltimore game too, where both he and Marvin Lewis felt they had left a lot of plays on the field due to bad throws from Carson Palmer. And as good as he's playing, I'm thinking, you know, you can't say much bad about him, but he should have completed that pass. You could see Reggie Kelly was open out there on the outside.
And Lee Bodden did a good job on Chad Johnson on that play. So 3rd down for Cincinnati. They trail by 13. Palmer wide open. Houshmandzadeh close to a 1st down and gets out of bounds. Mike Adams, backup safety, made the stop. Take a look at the numbers for Chad Johnson and TJ Houshmandzadeh. 179 for Chad. Both have a couple of touchdown catches. And the remarkable thing is they're losing by 13 points. 1st down, timing route to Johnson, incomplete. Chad turns, wants a flag, doesn't get it.
That was really solid coverage by Lee Bodden on the outside. They're just going with the straight fade route on the outside. Lee Bodden got good position. Chad Johnson never had a chance to catch that ball over the top from Carson Palmer. What a job Lee Bodden has, boy, trying to shadow Chad Johnson all over the football field. I don't know if I want to be in those shoes.
It'll be second down. The Bengals have converted a 3rd and 10 and a 4th and 10 on this drive. They're stacked to the left side. Palmer. Did he hang on? Yes, touchdown. Glenn Holt. What a catch. And he's slow getting up.
And that is Carson Palmer's 6th touchdown pass of the day. And a tremendous play by Glenn Holt. He's made plays all day long, having to step up and play due to the injury to Tab Perry. He has come through. That's the 2nd shot he's taken. What kind of shot? Let's listen to this.
He never let go of the football and still being helped on the sidelines.
He took that shot earlier in the game, too, I think, that almost knocked him out.
So it's not over yet, and why should it be? We still have 3:39 to play. It's 51 to 45. Goodness gracious. Only the 3rd time in NFL history that both quarterbacks have thrown for 5 or more touchdowns in a game. They both have 6.
And Carson Palmer still right there thinking if he gets another chance, always thinking ahead. Talking to Skylar Green, his young receiver who's having to step up in different situations. Just trying to make sure they're all on the same page and trying to talk about if they get the ball back in a 2-minute situation, what are the plays that he's going to go to. And look at those numbers. You don't see that kind of numbers on a weekly basis in the NFL.
Anderson has 5, not 6, but that's a pretty good ratio for the youngster, starting only his 4th game in the National Football League. 5 touchdown passes, 1 interception. And what do you expect coming out here? Do they onside kick it, or do they hope that the defense can finally stop them?
I think you've got to put it on your defense one time. And as we've stated a few times earlier, you got Joshua Cribbs back there for the Cleveland Browns, who's had 2 long returns today, 2 80-plus returns. One of them didn't count, but they are scared to death to kick the ball to them. They're playing for the onside kick, but I think you got to put it on your defense. You got 3.5 minutes left. You got timeouts. Put on your defense to stop it.
The hands team is up, and they kick over their heads. Cribbs, nice forward to the 34-yard line, and that's where the Browns will take over with 3:34 remaining. Last time they scored 50 or more points was in 1989, 18 years ago. They beat the Steelers 51-0.
And not only that, but now the last time these two teams played, Cincinnati shut out Cleveland in Cincinnati last year.
First down, they keep it on the ground. Lewis. It's out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Jamal Lewis over 200 yards today. And Cincinnati will take a timeout. So they'll have 1 remaining. 3:27 left to play. It is a 6-point Cleveland lead. And coming up next, Larry Johnson and the Chiefs tangle with Brian Urlacher and the Bears, or the Jets battle the Ravens, while the Raiders take on the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
Bill, Marvin Lewis is handling this situation exactly right. Kicking the ball off. You've got to man up on defense at some point. I'm sure he went over and had some words with his defense before they went out on the field and said, I'm going to put it in your hands. You guys need to step up at some point today and stop this Cleveland Browns offense, who, by the way, did not look very good last week against Pittsburgh. They've made you look bad all day. Make me look good, make our team look good, stand up and make some plays and give our offense a chance to go out and win this ball game.
On second down. Play action. They roll it out. And that's too bad. Lawrence Vickers looked away from the football and dropped it.
And if he catches that ball, Bill, he's still running right now, I think. He's down the sideline, one man to beat. Great play call by Rob Chudzinski. And you know what? Vickers knew how open he was, and he got a little bit ahead of himself and did not do the most important thing, and that is make sure that ball is put away before you look up the field.
So 3rd down, and the clock stops. 3:23 remaining. This is one of the highest scoring games in NFL history. From the shotgun, Anderson. Edwards. And his forward progress may have gotten the first down. They're saying that he fumbled, but one official is pointing first down. So let's sort this out. And they're saying he was down, and the Browns will keep the football. Well, it's been a wild game in every phase, so we might as well have a wild ending.
Now, we are not inside the final 2 minutes, so it is not a situation where the referees would go back and review this play. Now, Marvin Lewis has the opportunity to challenge if he wants to, but inside the 2 minutes, it automatically is going to be reviewed. That ball is out.
It is.
Now, the question is if it's blown dead, ruled, down by contact. When was the play blown dead is the issue now.
Braylon Edwards, you see at the top of your screen there on the left side, they got enough for a first down, but Braylon Edwards is just now getting off the turf. And he was pounded after making the catch. Show you what Braylon Edwards has done today.
He's made some plays all day. That's exactly what he was looking for, just what the doctor ordered. Great feet right there on that play. Then the nice double move to beat the rookie Leon Hall for a touchdown. And then again, selling out right there and rolling into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the day. Career high 142 yards. But I think we're going to see Marvin Lewis may want to challenge this play. I don't know why he wouldn't at this point.
Well, that was a huge catch that time to get the first down by Braylon Edwards. 8 catches today, 146 and 2 touchdowns.
Now the question is this a reviewable play? If it was blown down by contact, my understanding is that it is. If there is a possible fumble, that they would give the coach the opportunity to challenge this and then go in and see if the continuation of the play was
Well, it all
correct.
depends on who came away with the football.
Right. And the opposing team did come away with the football. So it should be a reviewable play, in my understanding. But Marvin Lewis isn't putting up much of a fight.
So Cincinnati, no timeouts remaining. 3:11 left to go. 51-45. Jamal Lewis.
And Bill, we found out Johnny Greer is the official who's the observer in the replay booth. The word from him is that it is not reviewable due to the fact that it was ruled his forward progress had stopped. It was not down by contact. It was actually forward progress had stopped before the ball popped out.
And
so
that forward progress was enough to get the first down.
If it was simply a down by contact decision, then it would have definitely been reviewable. 2nd
and 9. Take a look at the offense we've had today here in Cleveland. 2.5 minutes remaining. Again, it's Lewis. Protect that football. Brought down right at midfield, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning. Will Carson Palmer get another opportunity? Now we've reached the 2-minute warning. What a memorable day it's been in Cleveland. 51-45. What a day it's been for Romeo Crennel. He takes a chance and makes a big quarterback move earlier in the week. Turns the reins over to this young man, Derek Anderson, who responds with a
terrific outing. 5 touchdown passes. Jamal Lewis has had a memorable day. The same place where he set the NFL record for yardage, near 300 on that day. But he was playing not in a Browns uniform, but in a Ravens uniform 4 years ago.
So we are going to get to see Carson Palmer one more time, assuming that the Cincinnati Bengals can field this punt. And Cleveland will let the clock go down, but I think win or lose, you cannot say enough good about the job Romeo Crennel and his staff have done in keeping this club together. And with as you mentioned, the Charlie Fry decision to go to Derek Anderson, and all the other, the way they got shellacked last week by the Pittsburgh Steelers, to come out and play as hard as they've played today and together and unified, I think it deserves a lot of credit.
And it has to feel good for Derek Anderson, originally drafted by Baltimore in the 6th round in 2005, in his 3rd year out of Oregon State. Was locked in a very tight battle in the preseason for the starting quarterback job, lost it to Charlie Fry in a coin flip.
And he was frustrated about that too, because Derek Anderson thought he had earned that job last season, but he kept himself mentally into it and was excited about this opportunity.
And this is the Browns' first punt since their opening possession. Skylar Green is the man back deep. Off the side of his foot, and that's not good, but it takes a great bounce for the Browns. And goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Now, we had a lot of fantastic finishes in week 1. The Redskins beat the Dolphins in overtime, a 39-yard field goal. Jason Elam kicked a 42-yard field goal. So the Broncos beat the Bills. The Packers got a last-second field goal by Mason Crosby to beat the Eagles. And in San Francisco, it was close as well, 20-17 to close out the week late on Monday night. And will we have another fantastic finish? He has 91 yards to go. A field goal won't do it. Down by 6. And by the way, no timeouts. Palmer. In and out of the hands of Hushmanzada. They're lucky that wasn't picked off.
Very lucky. Very lucky. And I'll tell you, there was Skylar Green, probably the 4th or 5th receiver on their depth chart. You'll see him coming over the middle right there. He's open. I think if Carson Palmer had a little more confidence in him as a receiver, you might have seen him take that first option and get this drive jump-started.
Less than a minute remaining. Palmer from the goal line got it out and out of bounds to Rudy Johnson, short of a first down. But that will stop the clock with 53 seconds remaining.
One of the many great qualities that Carson Palmer possesses is a cool that his coach Marvin Lewis tells us. He says, you know what, that kid never gets rattled. He never changes his emotions. He's always in complete control, totally confident, and you won't see him get rattled in this situation either.
He's thrown 6 touchdown passes today. 3rd down. Again out to Johnson, out of bounds, a first down. 49 seconds left.
That and some people might wonder, you know, what are these short passes the way to go? Well, geez, we got still 49 seconds left, and Carson Palmer knew the most important thing right there was to pick up the first down, get the ball out of bounds, stop the clock. You're going to have a few chances to make plays, but if you've got a way to pick up some yardage on the sideline and stop the clock, you take that every time.
And they have no timeouts remaining, so he's limited the different parts of the field he can go to. Expect him to go close to the sidelines where they can stop the clock. Palmer, of course, he goes right up the middle. It's caught. Chad Johnson right at midfield. Now they have to get up in a hurry. And we have a Cleveland Brown who's down on the field to quell Jackson.
Yeah. He landed on his back, it looked like. It might have had the wind knocked out of him.
That was a pickup of 30 yards.
What a tremendous catch by Chad Johnson. Carson Palmer, knowing in this situation, you've got to make some plays when you get the opportunity. It might call for making a decision you normally wouldn't. Laying a ball in there over the top. What an unbelievable catch. And then That was Sean Jones and DeQuell Jackson running into each other. That's where DeQuell Jackson got hurt. But fearless Chad Johnson going up, pulling that ball, going over 200 yards on that reception.
209 yards on the day for Chad Johnson and a couple of touchdowns. So just over 50 yards to go. 33 seconds to do it and no timeouts.
So Cleveland was charged their final timeout because of the injury in the last 2 minutes of the game. Whether the player's injured or not is irrelevant. That actually works in Cincinnati's favor as well.
From midfield, Palmer with time up the sideline for Houshmandzadeh. That was almost picked off.
Yeah, that was one where
Mike Adams had a shot at it, the fourth-year backup safety from Delaware.
And that was one where Carson Palmer had maybe a little bit too much confidence in his arm. There wasn't a very big hole in the sideline. He's trying to thread it in there. Mike Adams, safety, knowing that the sideline is the ally of the Cincinnati Bengals right now. He's a little bit wider, knowing that if you give up a play down the middle of the field, the clock is going to continue running. They're not going to have enough time probably to get another play called. So the sideline is what the Cincinnati Bengals need to take advantage of right now.
28 seconds remaining. Second down. Palmer up the right sideline. Is it picked off? Lee Bodden, yes.
I'm not convinced that second foot got down, but if it did, boy, what a tremendous play by Lee Bodden and Romeo Crennel. They can relax if that call does hold up, but it will be reviewed. And we'll see. Carson Palmer again trying to get the ball on the outside because you can't waste that time on the inside. 1 foot down. Yeah, he did. Boy, what a great play. Looked like a receiver there. He goes up, makes a tremendous catch, and then gets that left toe down. There's no doubt about that one. The Cleveland Browns have reason to celebrate now.
They review it upstairs. There are no challenges inside of 2 minutes. And they are checking it, we're told. Lee Bodden, who knew he would be matched up with Chad Johnson today, said he was looking forward to it. He always enjoys going one-on-one with the talented Chad Johnson. And that time it was Lee Bodden who got the better of things. While they look upstairs, we'll take another peek.
He's got possession, right foot, left foot. Yeah, if he tapped that left toe. That's just a great play.
Another thing you want to check is possession, and he had that.
It looked very clear to me and to you, I believe, Bill, that he did have possession of that ball.
21 seconds remaining. 96 points combined.
You know, all things considered, this could be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Cleveland Browns. You know, they needed something to get excited about. They'd only won 10 games over the previous 2 seasons under Romeo Crennel, and these games most of the time have gone against them. Whenever they've been in a ball game, they haven't been getting the breaks, but today they got a few breaks. They made some very timely big plays. Lee Bodden right there making the play, but Derek Anderson today, Kellen Winslow, Braylon Edwards, it goes on and on. Joshua Cribbs, don't underestimate how significant those plays were, as well as
Jamal
the touchdown.
Lewis.
Jamal Lewis, that's right, rushing
only
over 200 yards. That's
yards.
right. Did you forget about that?
The Browns scored 51 points today. They had scored in their 5 previous games a total of 44 points. All losses. Almost 1,100 yards of total offense. And Pete Morelli is still over in the replay booth.
He looks very comfortable in that replay booth, doesn't he? Braylon Edwards got to feel good about today as well.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands, interception.
And that will do it. The last win for the Browns against Cincinnati, October of '04, Jeff Garcia was the starting quarterback. Take a knee, and it is one for the record books. 51-45. Coming up next, it's game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. For Steve Berline, this is Phil McAtee. So long from Cleveland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.